Good evening, everyone. It is 6:02 p.m. and I am opening the July 18th, 2023 meeting of the Rutland Conservation Commission. We are on Zoom. We're being recorded and broadcast. We will be broadcast in the future and put up on YouTube. I think that's all we need to say.
Okay.
Let me share.
You should. I couldn't sit with my back to everybody.
I know, I feel weird.
That's you don't have to sit here. I'll put the chair down there for you. You don't have to sit near me.
Then I can't see the thing.
Who are we missing? What's his face?
Joe.
Just Joe.
Let us begin. We'll do minutes first. Wait a second, I have to let somebody else in. And there are some meeting minutes.
Motion to approve as written.
Second.
Discussion, corrections, comments. Roll call.
Dan said so.
Williamson abstained.
Gentilucci, aye.
Langer and I.
Clock eye.
Crane, aye. Now we need to approve the minutes of the executive session of the same date, which I'm not gonna display. If anybody hasn't read it yet, I have it right here. But
Motion to approve as written.
Second.
discussion, roll call.
Langer and I.
Clock eye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Williamson abstained.
Dan said same.
Crane, aye. I don't think there's any reason not to release these. I think,
those are fine. There's nothing on those.
No.
so I'd like a motion to release then.
Motion to release.
Second.
What, are we trading?
Yes. We are.
Oh, okay. Discussion,
Dan said aye. We can vote it.
you can vote to release, absolutely.
Williamson, aye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Langer and I.
Clock eye.
Crane, aye. Done. Oh, goodness, hold on, there are a lot of people showing up over Zoom tonight. All right, I'm gonna take things out of order. It is time for our yearly reorganization. Yay, before anybody makes a motion, we're gonna do this the right way, which is not the way we've been doing it for a while. What is that?
Who brought the bottle?
Yeah.
We're gonna first nominate, so we're gonna start with the chair. I'd like whoever would like to nominate someone, anyone's for the chair, please do so.
Nominate Peter Crane.
I'll second.
I will accept that nomination.
Thank God.
Even though,
I mean.
I'll tell you the truth, lately there's not been a ton of time to do everything that needs to be done for this, but
Well, we're here to help you.
How's that?
Still doing a great job.
Here's the complaint.
anything that we all don't have to
And
do
I'm not
more.
being facetious. I am not.
No other nominations, so I think it's a simple vote. Start down there.
Dan said aye.
Williamson, aye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Clock
Crane.
eye.
Langer and I.
Crane abstain.
Melissa for second.
Nomination for the vice.
I'll second that motion.
I will
Would-
accept.
You will accept,
I will
okay.
accept.
Any other nominations? Then a vote. Start here.
Langer and I.
Clock eye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Williamson, aye.
Dan abstained.
Crane, aye. And
we
finally, what's that?
Go ahead.
Finally, we need a selection of a clerk, and we're not electing a member. As much as she's
Huzzah.
here.
No, wait a minute now. We can do that. We can have a.
We could. We could, in
In
fact.
She's not here.
case you can't make it. You just lost
That's
it.
I think
That would be a
you
vice
were.
clerk.
That's why it's recorded, so she can interpret later.
Yeah, good.
And try, or at least try and figure it out, you know. So I'd,
I'd like to make a nomination of
well, first the clerk.
the clerk. Nominate
Can't
Ms.
remember who
Williams
does,
for
that's
clerk.
okay.
I deny a nomination.
Yeah,
Well, the clerk is the person who does her job.
Yes, but only if she's not available.
That's a backup position. First, we need to actually appoint the clerk.
I thought he liked you to make.
I do.
He does.
but isn't
But
that her
she's-
job description? I don't think we have to appoint Tamika.
Yes, I don't think we do either.
We pay her.
We do, but yearly we are supposed to reappoint in the same way that select board reappoints a town council and,
But I'm a town administrator appointment. My
Yeah.
position is listed under TA appointments for all of my boards and commissions.
Yeah, I don't think we hire.
oh, that's
fire her.
interesting.
Yeah, you guys have never nominated me.
So, but if you want to be happy about this, I will make a motion that we appoint Tamika as our clerk and secretary, or just clerk, or whatever you, which way you want to write it.
We, nobody can even vote because if you haven't been sworn in, did everyone go get sworn in?
Yes.
Yes,
It's only one, it's only what, two people? Three people
Three.
this year.
I checked with Anita because I did it yesterday. We're all good.
Oh, okay. Last minute.
As if there's anything else.
Did you second that?
Yes,
Oh,
of
okay,
course I did.
all right.
Any others? Roll call, start this end again.
Langer, no.
Clock eye.
Chancelucci, aye.
Williamson, aye.
Dan's eye.
Great eye. Fair enough.
Murphy abstained.
Well, she didn't run screaming out of the room right away. In fact, she didn't do that a few
always a
years
good
ago,
sign.
so. Now, if you'd like to also nominate a clerk for backup duty, I don't have a problem with that.
We've never done it before.
Everybody talked me out of it. Besides, she doesn't want to do the job.
I believe the phrase you're looking for is wimp.
Smart.
Smart. Shh. All right, moving on. Where is our agenda now? There we go. Certificate of compliance for the Long Pond Boat Ramp. Do we know what they did? I know what they planned to do.
Done, it looks good.
Did they actually put in the new ramp?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ramp-
it's
the
been
ramp-
done
I
for
heard
a
things
while.
about them removing it and.
No, the ramp's in and everything, I think everything but the, floating dock's done.
Yeah.
But the anchor's, yeah,
That's
cause
not
that's
germane to
what,
us,
no,
so.
no, but the anchor's in for it, so that's all that
Okay.
matters. Yeah, it looks good. I was over there driving with the kids, that's the only reason.
I'm glad somebody saw it, because I haven't.
Yes, I actually got out and looked.
But based on Scott's glowing report,
Do we want an as-built? Because this is a newer one that required it. I didn't see one in the drive.
yes, if it's in our orders of conditions, we absolutely want one.
Yeah, you even put a nice sign and everything. It's a nice sign over there, it's pretty.
I got
So will you reach out and get them a,
it. So I just thought
ask them
new
for an
and
as-built,
ready.
please?
Yes.
Thank you. So we will move on. Request to extend the order of conditions for 14 Emerald, which is. That's the one we're not doing right now. Hey, Joe.
Do it.
We have a request, we don't have a request for how long, but we do have a request to extend the orders for what is now 14 Emerald Road. We have all the form.
When I spoke to him over the phone, he was interested in doing the standard 3 years.
Under 3 years, okay. Has anything gone on in the property yet?
No, this was originally issued when it was just the property being sold, and now they have since purchased the property. Mr. Severance and his daughter have.
Right, okay. Motion,
Motion to extend the order of conditions for 14 Emerald Road for 3 years.
Second.
discussion. Roll call. Yeah, start way the hell down there now that he's here.
Dan's eye.
Williamson, aye.
Chancelucci, aye.
Clock eye.
Langer, aye.
Crane eye. Same deal for 16 Emerald Road. Again, 3 years, I assume.
Yes, please.
Motion to extend for 3 years for 16 Emerald Road.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Gunkel, aye.
Dan's eye.
Williamson, aye.
Calucci, aye.
Okay.
Langen, aye.
Green eye. We have a request, no, yes, that's right, an RDA for 260 Glenwood Road. So a little background, a building permit was put in for this for an accessory structure, a shed. That is outside the 50 and within the 100. I approved the building permit, but I also said they can choose to submit an RDA to us, so that should any question come up, the commission as a whole understands the project.
This is Claire Rose.
No.
No, okay.
I just wanted to note that I received this in time to publish in the newspaper, so if the commission would like to make a decision tonight, you can do that.
You can.
Thank you.
260, right? That's the number on this one?
Yes.
Right, so,
And Mark
This-
Albertine is here if
this
you have any
yours?
questions.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Mark's.
Where is it, Mark?
So you take a left on Glenwood and it's the first house on the right, it's a new house, newer house. They're building
Around the corner where the new houses are?
when you come up to Ridge Road,
Yeah,
taking the right on Ridge, you take the left on Glenwood.
yeah.
First house on the right side of the driveway. It's gonna be a 16 by 24 shed. I think the closest point.
So it's across 68.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Closest point is 80 feet to the wetlands,
right.
accessory to a single family house, so we put it in as a RDA.
Mm-hmm. What's it got for a foundation?
Exempt anyway, 'cause it's.
It's gonna be,
Either way, right?
it's not gonna have frost walls, it's gonna be a thick
Slab?
thick
As long as
slab,
they
yeah.
put a
Okay.
version.
You said slab?
Yeah,
Sorry, thank you.
a structural slab.
Sorry, I feel weird with my back to everyone.
So-
The setup is tough.
Yeah.
Since this is a shed, so it's an accessory structure and it's more than 50 feet from the wetlands, are they technically exempt?
I did say they did not need
Yeah,
to
okay.
submit an RDA, that they could choose to simply to inform the commission as a whole.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
It's a decent sized shed, so I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, that's true.
But does he have erosion controls on?
Yep.
Yes, yes,
Oh, just do one.
which is still beyond the 50.
So, okay.
Any other questions, comments? All right, what's the right well, it has to be a negative determination because it can't not be. What's the right reason?
Number 3, that's in the buffer zone.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one.
that's just, it
The one
it
that's-
became clear because we're in the buffer, but we're not within
Right.
with the 100, it's not jurisdictional to
With
100.
the condition of the erosion controls.
Right.
Is that a motion?
Yeah.
Sure, why
I'll
not?
second it.
Sure was. A negative one, by the way.
A negative motion? I'm not even gonna touch that.
It's a negative determination.
Probably for the best.
I made the motion, she made the determination.
Behave. Remember, Scott, we're on camera.
You just can't help yourself.
Other discussion? Roll call.
Gunkel, aye.
Dan's eye.
Williamson, aye.
Calucci, aye.
Okay.
Langen, aye.
Crane, aye. Done.
Thank you. Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
if I could interrupt the meeting, I'm here for a notice of intent for Calerio on Glenwood Road.
Yes,
We're still awaiting a DEP number.
right?
Would it be appropriate to request that the commission open the hearing and continue without discussion until the next meeting?
I have a couple questions that probably we need to do before we continue.
Okay.
It's the RDA and scroll down. Oh my gosh, I forgot all these. Hi, Julian.
Aye. Same subdivision, all
Yep,
the lots.
This is 3A, which is way back there. I mean, it's a longer driveway than most of those.
Yeah.
And by the way, I certainly appreciate the inset that shows a little more detail. Yeah.
Helps.
Single family driveway, water sewer, yes? Town water, town sewer, yeah. Questions?
This is just a submission for now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Submission.
All right, submitted for
August 1st.
August 1st. Then there's lot 8, if memory serves. Oh, the driveway crosses, oh, I didn't realize that, okay. Yep, okay. Questions? Those trees aren't there now, are they?
No, those are probably from the subdivision.
Yeah,
that we
probably,
planted.
right, okay.
Yeah. They just follow the plan. No, there's no trees there. It's pretty much
It's clear cut.
clear cut.
Other questions? All right, same date. Which lot number are we at now?
7, 8, sorry.
No, that last one was 8.
No, that last one was
That was
7,
seven.
actually.
Last one was 7?
Yeah, you had it.
Of course I did.
You had it in the right order of the agenda. You're good, you're fine.
So this is number 8, fine. Oh, yeah, okay. Talk about just the corner in the 100. Questions, comments? Scheduled. And 21?
Which one is 21, Julie?
See the locus?
Straight
Lot
away.
21.
You got the pot.
It's right next to 22 that we did last time we got together.
I just needed the orientation.
Yeah. Right in the middle.
Other questions, comments? Scheduled.
And I presume no sidewalk needed for these ones?
Does anybody want to do a site walk? Glenn and I were there we actually walked the whole property when we were there for the last set, so anybody want to do a site walk?
I usually go on my own, just to,
Just
well,
'cause?
yeah, this one.
I walk every weekend through it, so.
All right, so we won't have an organized site walk, people who want to go can go. Yeah, all right, time to open a public hearing for notice of intent for Brendan Godin, 73 Brintnal Drive. Oh, look, I was gonna just say, do we have someone to speak? There we go.
Just for the record, Scott Morrison from Ecotech, here on behalf of the applicant Brendan Godin. The proposed project consists of replacing this driveway. And if you recall, for the site visit, the way the lot's shaped is essentially everything drains this way and back towards the rear of the lot. And water kind of sits in this back lawn because it's so flat. Along with some areas down here, water just kind of sits there, it's quite saturated. So the proposed project consists of some regrading here, regrading and pitching of the driveway, and some regrading of the backyard just to get some positive drainage, so any water that comes down here would be able to drain off the back here, or kind of sheet flow across the driveway into the wetland. The wetland, this is a bordering vegetated wetland, runs along the driveway here, and then wraps around the back of the lawn. Comes out, and there's a small pocket here. So they've got erosion control barriers along the edge of the driveway. additional erosion control barrier here to protect the jurisdictional wetlands. And it's-
Is that actually isolated, or does it connect?
There's a pipe that goes from this, there's a little pocket here with a
Right.
pipe that connects it to the larger
Right.
boring vegetated wetland. And there's a stream that I think it flows that way, across the south, across the street, if I remember correctly.
No. Is that just road drainage on the right side of the driveway?
This here,
Yeah.
I think it's a combination. You get some road runoff that kind of comes down through here. You get quite a bit of sheet flow that comes off here and probably from the house. And then you also probably have some sheet flow that comes off that hillside.
I believe I remember seeing a pipe going,
It's connected though.
Yeah, so it
Yes,
goes
it is.
through here and then there's a, I think it's a
It doesn't
12-inch
matter, it's
pipe that
connected to the
connects
wetland.
through.
oh, I thought there was the one that went up more in the direction of the house also.
Um,
I thought I remember seeing that in that little, there was a little trench.
there was a little
That led
trench.
up to the
I don't
wetland.
recall seeing a pipe within that trench.
This is my memory, so don't trust it, Lord knows.
There was
I thought
definitely,
we saw, I thought that was off the one of the,
There was something up top also.
yeah, that was off the,
the
rain
roof,
gutter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Downspout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, you were at the site walk, anything to add?
No, I didn't see any major issues there. There's nothing on the other side, the left side, that gonna be impacted by any.
It's just gonna get the natural water flow which
It's
you're
gonna
getting
get the
anyway.
same flow, you're not adding, so.
So is the dark stone wall proposed or is that existing?
there's no stone wall, so it's essentially, it's replacement of this, so there's an existing paved driveway. That will be replaced. There is some grading here to get this to
Oh,
drain a little bit
SMUs.
better. This
So-
is kind of like a,
Okay.
kind of slopes off and then, so there's like a,
And then it dips and then rises again at the driveway. Yeah.
It's actually a very flat lot when you come right.
Yeah, in the
down.
grand scheme of things, yeah.
So it's minor corrections.
yeah, it's very minimal.
It's like I said at the walk, when we went up there and visited you. It's landscaping more than anything else.
Yeah, it's landscaping with a driveway replacement.
Right.
For all intents and purposes.
And you're not expanding the driveway at all, just in kind?
Yep.
Do we have a DEP number for this one? Yes, we do. Here it is with the no comment.
Yes.
Great. So is there a reason not to close this? Wait, I haven't done this yet. We've talked to the commission, but now we need to open it up to the public. Does anyone in the public have comments or questions? Hearing none. Now I'll ask, is there any reason not to close this hearing?
I'll make a motion to close.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Langer, aye.
Clock eye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Livingston, aye.
Dan's eye.
Local eye.
Crane, aye. Any special conditions for this one?
Yeah, standard.
Yeah, just.
I'm fine with that. Yep.
Perfect.
Motion to issue the order.
So moved.
Second.
Did I hear a second?
Yep.
Okay. Local eye.
What are you pointing at him for?
He's trying to get me, that's all.
That's right, and he's doing a hell of a job.
I didn't hear a nomination for you, Scott.
Next time.
This time, that's
Now we
right.
know, we know. That's higher aspirations.
He's got something.
Any other discussions about the orders? Roll call.
Local eye.
Dan's eye.
Williamson, aye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Clock eye.
Langer, aye.
Crane, aye.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thanks, you too.
Melissa, Sorcerer's Apprentice, come on, you don't remember the movie?
All right, time to open a notice of, now, this is where it gets weird, Tamika, so before I do anything, actually take my action. What is this one really?
This is Julian's, this is the amended order of conditions.
It is an
where-
amended, we want to amend the order of conditions, or we want to amend the plan?
Julian
Yes,
can tell you.
both.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
It is an amendment to the order.
Yeah.
So this is, okay,
You did it correctly. They didn't like it.
Right,
So they told me to send it back to you so they can withdraw their appeal. This is the DEP.
that's
Appeal.
right, so this is a hearing,
Correct.
isn't it?
It is, I
I
posted.
said it was
Yep.
correct. You guys agreed. They didn't like it.
Okay,
So they were
so,
trying to get all sorts of different things and realized that you
Yep,
gotta
hold
follow.
on, so I'm now going to open this
Okay.
hearing for CB Blair at 311 Pleasantdale Road. And if I've done this right, that ought to be it, right? Yep, that's Pleasantdale.
Yeah.
So if you wouldn't mind very briefly just talking about the
The only thing
changes.
we've changed is I added the word limit of work on the erosion control line.
Mhm.
They said if I add that and bring it back and you guys amend it, they're gonna withdraw their appeal.
And they
That's
want
the
us-
only change.
And they just want us to put on the findings that there's a deed restriction for the riverfront, which we discussed last time.
Right, to make that, which is the amended order, or
Yep.
the order that we're going to
Yep.
add. Right.
Is that because the riverfront says you can only take up a certain percentage?
Only
Yeah.
percentage of it.
10%. So this was part of a bigger parcel, so to ensure that on the other parcels and for this one in the future, they don't continue to move further in.
So what if these people like wanted to put a pool in?
They have to come see you.
They have to- Right?
Could we allow that in the riverfront though, even though
If you're nice, you will.
the 10%?
As long as they're under.
Probably
If
not,
they still
because they're
have-
at 9.6 right now.
Yeah, they're so close, it is
So,
I'm not gonna say it's impossible, I'm gonna call it unlikely, and they would have to come back before us.
Yeah.
Well, it's only in the area that's disturbed. So if
Right.
they put it in that bubble, they can put a pool in.
Yeah, the only
Oh,
thing,
that's true, cause that is,
That's already accounted.
as long as it's not outside, you're right, if they go outside, they have big trouble.
They're already within
Right.
We had
the
a-
park, that
we had a
counts as
similar
10%.
situation a few years ago. And it was inside that bubble
Yeah.
that you just described. And the only thing that we put on as a condition is that the discharge from the backwash on the pool does not go to the wetland.
Mhm. Right.
Chlorine and the little green frogs.
Now, let's not put
kill
bad
them.
things out there.
A lot of them are switching to saltwater or like algae, so there's no backwash anymore.
Saltwater frogs, cool.
Salty.
But you prohibit the backwash no matter what, so that
Yeah.
way there, if they just go with a basic sand filter or diatom or something.
So this is exactly the same plan, Julian, except for those words.
A little work,
Right.
which was approved by you
Mhm.
and appealed. And here we are.
So procedural, oh, this is a hearing for an amendment to the previously
This
approved
was
plan.
posted.
Yep.
Okay. So we don't need new comments from DEP or
Do
anything.
they just want an amendment, or do they want a whole new?
They told me an amendment by this board to the original,
would
and they're gonna
satisfy the-
So it's
withdraw
still in
their,
order.
their
Okay,
amendment,
all right.
their
Yep.
appeal.
Alright,
It's not a new, right.
No, yeah, and the email is in, if you want a reference to what the DEP sent, the email is in the file on the SharePoint. But they essentially, said what Julian had said about the deed restriction and if
Right.
he amended it, then
And so we'll next, after the hearing part, talk about amending the orders, but
Mm-hmm.
any other discussion from the commission? Any questions or comments from the public? Yes,
Just a brief,
identify yourself, please, name and address.
Cody Coyne, 105 Glenwood.
Thank you.
So I just had a brief question. I don't remember all the specifics on this one and I'm kind of outside. Is this the one where it's near a tributary to Browning Pond?
Is it Browning? I'm not sure where it
well, Browning Pond is on
Or
the
is
other
it
side of the
another-
road and on beyond.
runs
the-
down. I don't know if this feeds
Beyond the
that. I
solar
haven't looked
fields.
at that.
That's quite
yeah.
a ways away,
How far away is this from the tributary?
quarter mile.
Well, hold on, from the,
The water.
how far is this away from the
There's a
from
100
the
foot,
riverfront?
there's a 100-foot untouched zone.
Right.
Right.
Then we have qualified 100 to 200 foot per the act of allowable area. That's 100% meets
Right.
the Water Wetland Protection Act and Rivers
No,
Act.
right, so to answer his question, what is the closest disturbance of work from this project to
100
the,
feet, 101 feet.
101 feet, okay, there we go.
So within the Watershed Protection Act, the primary watershed protection zone is 200 feet from a tributary.
But we do not enforce watershed protection.
I'm glad you brought that up.
This is not watershed.
We're in the Ware watershed.
That does not have a DCR.
It doesn't mean that everything that flows
That's not to talk
is
about.
part of that watershed, it flows into that waterway.
No, it happens to be if it's within that watershed map.
That sucks, they don't have.
I have the map.
It has to be designated.
Stuff on this map.
DCR does need to designate it as,
Watershed.
Right,
Yes. And their maps are online.
but there's an official watershed map and a Quabbin watershed map where,
yeah, and Chicopee, yep, they're all
and
there.
then there's Wachusett. And Rutland is split
Mhm.
between those two. It's, there's only a little tiny corner that's not within the watershed.
Mhm.
My understanding, this would be within their watershed, the map, the official map.
Okay,
So, based on its proximity, it would be within the primary protection zone.
You should probably call it DCR and have that
No, I have the
discussion.
regs here.
So
No, you can call it DCR, this
Sure.
is
Okay,
water,
scroll
well
up
protection.
hey, Julian, he's addressing me,
Okay, sorry. So how many times are you gonna kill this thing?
well, we'll do it again.
well, I'm just asking a question because this is an official reg. It's an act. It's the Watershed Protection Act.
Mm-hmm.
The primary protection zone, watershed protection zone, if it's that close to that
Mhm.
water resource.
And if that water resource is deemed by the DCR to be part of the, to actually be a flow as to wherever it goes, it has to go somewhere particular in
No,
order.
here
If
are the
it's
regs.
jurisdictional
So
under the
for-
Watershed
to
Protection Act.
qualify for a primary watershed protection zone, the area 400 feet from the edge of a reservoir, 200 feet from a tributary. Definition of a tributary. Tributaries may be perennial or they may be intermittent. Tributaries include seasonal water flow, groundwater when the water table is elevated, or when snowpacks melt, so they can be either perennial or intermittent. It has nothing to do whether they're in or out of that watershed. If they're in the watershed, then they're in the watershed.
And that is again, DCR jurisdictional, not Conservation Commission.
Right, so that's the reason why I was bringing up that question. I said, I'm glad you mentioned that. I called the administrators at Mass DEP Conservation and the Massachusetts Division of Water Supply. The administrators within both those divisions said they are informed when town boards that see project activity contained within applications they receive, and they are determined to be violation of regulations enforced by the Watershed Protection Act. It's your responsibility to talk to them. It's not like, well, just ignore it. If you're supposed to know those regs, you don't enforce them, but you're responsible for contacting them, according to these administrators.
And there is a system that ensures that they are properly notified.
Okay, well, has that happened?
Yes,
Yeah, this is amended order of conditions.
they've already seen it, they've already made comments, we've already gone through this.
See, that-
Isn't this Mass Step you're talking about? This isn't Mass
Yeah,
Step.
Mass DEP would have rejected it if they felt it was in or in violation of any of the act.
Well, this
They would
is,
have already rejected it, and he wouldn't be here, sitting here with an amended order of conditions.
right, but this statement says nothing about involvement in Mass Step. I'm just asking, I'm trying to figure out how things work. This is an official act, the Watershed Act, and these administrative
It's
officers.
not watershed.
It's-
Do you have the map from the DCR?
Yeah, I have the map.
Is it in the red zone?
I have the map.
It's in the red zone.
Well, as far as I know, there's just an outline of the map.
No, there's a red zone that says 0 to 200 through the chair. There you go. You can stop. I can't take it anymore.
What did I do?
Oh, we'll get to you.
Sorry.
We're here
Yeah.
because of what the DEP asked us to, so they will rescind their appeal to add one note on this plan, bring it back to this board for them to amend the order.
Mr. Chair, can I help
Okay.
clarify?
Please do.
So the Watershed Protection Act references an official map that dates back to 1996. That official map designates the primary and secondary zones. In this case, from what I'm seeing here today, it looks like this lot is outside of both those jurisdictional boundaries and therefore not subject to the Watershed Protection Act jurisdictional regulations.
Correct.
I hope
Thank you, Mark.
that
And that includes all watersheds.
Why would it be excluded from this watershed?
Because when they brought in the Watershed Protection Act, they made an actual specific map that we go by, or it would have been a land taking. They've taken a lot of people's land.
See, there's
They're not
one,
taking-
that's
That
one.
means nothing.
And here's
That's
the other one.
meaningless.
Here,
It's cartoons.
This is the official one that's on, that's used.
See, I think what you're seeing, sir, is the definition, the boundaries of the watersheds, but not the boundaries of the effects of the act. The effects of the act are delineated by a different map, which contain, so all the map contains all that space that you see, but it lays it out in much more detail which stream, which river, which tributary, which water flow is or is not jurisdictional to the act, to that act.
Well, the only, when I talk with the administrators, that they,
Who's the administrator? What's the name of the person?
well, I have the emails, I'll send them to you.
That'd be great. I'd
Okay.
like to know who this person is.
So, they just reiterated this definition that they have online. With, if you're within that map, and it's a tributary, and you're that distance from either surface water or a tributary, all of that water is within the watershed, was their response, that's
But
watershed.
they have
water.
not defined this river as part of that, as a tributary of that watershed.
So one of our commissioners pulled it up, it is not within that DCR area.
It's not within.
It is not within
where?
that watershed area that you're discussing. So it's not a protected primary or
It's not a
secondary
protected
zone.
resource.
Under DCR Watershed Protection Act. So that official map, so what Julian was talking about in the area that's
This was on
red.
their site, this was their watershed.
So what you were
map.
probably looking at is what the total delineation of those watersheds are.
Right.
Where those boundaries go. That doesn't determine what those tributaries are, where those primary and secondary zones. That's just where the boundaries are to determine what DCR office gets the application. Where that water ultimately ends up, but isn't what the watershed protection zones are.
Well, this was off their side, I don't see where it says that on this map, it shows the boundaries for the watershed.
But we're saying, we double checked, and that, what the act that you are referencing is not subject to the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission. We cannot enforce the Watershed Protection Act.
No, I know you can't enforce it, you're supposed to contact.
The applicant is. If they are within that area, then the applicant contacts them. Since they are not within that area, they didn't have to get any approvals from
Yeah,
DCR.
that wasn't what I received by email, they said, the administrators said that the town boards, it's their responsibility to contact them.
I'm not sure which division you contacted, but
But
under,
they're already at it again.
oh, I think we're good. I think we have the understanding that what you're suggesting is not subject to our jurisdiction in this application.
Right. And it's
So we're
also not subjected, by their own rulings, it is not subject to DCR, to the Watershed Protection Act, period.
And we're here for the
I would have to
DEP
look at the
Wetland
map.
Protection
This
Act.
was off their website.
That's okay, so but we're working under the Wetlands Protection Act right now. That's the only application that we have in front of us.
And so that was the original question. I realize it's not your jurisdiction or your authority. But because these, this is the way it was explained to me, this isn't my opinion. I'm not expressing my opinion
I
here.
understand?
I'm just communicating what I was told.
And we're telling you also.
They said, these administrators, not Joe Blow, the administrators said from 2 offices that it's the town board's responsibility for this issue to be communicated to them, because you're right on the front line. They don't know what's happening.
If we think, so what they're probably talking about is that if we think it's subject to DCR, then yes, we would make them aware that there's an application in front of us that would be under their jurisdiction. In this case,
We
Well,
don't
it's
need
not,
to
so we-
because it's not under their jurisdiction.
Have you ever done that? You
yes,
have
oh,
to.
1,000%.
Of course we have.
We've done it at
Why am I
56,
here?
we've done it to Brice Lemon, I mean, we've done
Should've been here
it all the
5
time.
months ago.
That was the original question that I had, and that's.
So do we have any other questions? Oh, just a minute. Admit a couple more people. Any other discussions about this application? This, come on, we all know it's Tamika. Moving on. Any reason not to close?
Motion to close.
Second.
Tie.
Tie goes to the lady.
Tie goes to the runner. Roll call.
Langer and I.
Clock eye.
Chancelucci, aye.
Williams, aye.
Danza, aye.
Dolco eye.
Crane eye. So now let's talk about the condition that remains. The new condition we need to add. I know we've spoken about it, but do we know what the correct wording would be?
So the,
It's in that email from DEP.
I didn't see an email.
Go to the under 2023 applications.
Oh, under applications.
Yeah, applications, for 311 Pleasantdale, the email from them should be in there with the wording that they specifically wanted.
This is from the June 20?
No, it's just in on the regular SharePoint under applications.
Oh, it's under, okay.
Yeah, for 311 Pleasantdale. It should probably say email from DEP.
Different.
Yeah, I remember seeing it, so it had been, already been there somewhere, but I do what I really wanna do.
Right in front of my face, you mean? That's cute.
I can just do that. And then make it bigger. There we go.
Here, can
I'm
you
gonna make
move
it
to the
wider,
left a
Peter.
little bit? Yeah.
It's cutting off the right edge.
Special condition to memorialize the alteration to riverfront area.
So, a deed restriction shall be recorded prior to construction, memorializing the total limit of riverfront area, the total alteration of riverfront area on affected lots.
Super, super.
To remain in perpetuity, just for, in case. Cause they get finicky.
And then the other one was to add the limit of work wording to get us a revised plan.
But we have a revised plan, so that
That's on
part,
that.
that part's
So that
done.
takes it over.
Okay,
We
so
would, we would
that's,
accept this plan as part of the amendment.
okay, so that's the only remaining conditions, the deed.
Yep.
Saying,
Melissa, can I just read it back to
Are there
you?
markers on this one?
Other one?
A
There
deed
markers on
restriction,
this one? Didn't we already put them
I'll
on?
ask her just a minute.
the deed restriction shall be recorded with the registry of deeds prior to construction to memorialize.
Yep, that word.
Yep,
Mhm.
that one. Alteration of the riverfront area on affected lots in perpetuity.
And to demonstrate, under the 10% threshold. Sorry.
So Tamika, I do have to ask the question that Glenda just asked, which is, do our original orders
You can
have,
pull that up. If you go under, back
actually
to
just a minute, I
the,
got the wrong,
if you go back to the main page on the SharePoint and you go under 2023 orders and conditions, it will be in there and you can read it under the special conditions.
right.
Memorialize.
You don't remember? Did we put markers on this one?
I don't remember because I
That was the
put that on
question,
quite a
that's
few of
exactly
them.
the question that we're trying to answer right
Put them on a
now.
few of
I
the
think we
last
did it
ones,
on
so
this
that's
one.
why I can't
311, oh,
remember.
look.
I think we did though.
Yeah, I did too, cause this was one of the first ones that kinda went, yeah, I think so.
so what are we hunting, the original order?
Yes, to see if there's already an order.
Sorry, Peter,
Yeah.
that's just the orders. There should be another one that says special conditions for another file that's, yeah,
Ah.
that says special conditions for 311 Pleasantdale. There might be another subfolder within.
Cause there is a, no, that's just signatures.
No,
Orders.
go back to the top. I think there was another folder for special
I
conditions.
don't see one for Pleasantdale.
So if you go under 2023 orders and conditions, within that, there should be a subfolder, yep, 2023 special
There was
conditions.
another one back there.
And then there should be one for, yeah, CP Blair 311.
Take it out, Joe.
So I think if you scroll up, Peter,
Did I miss
is that,
that?
that folder that says PDF special conditions, I think it's in there. I think it's that first one.
Oh, I don't know why I did that.
There you go.
Yep, it is.
Thank you.
It's okay.
I don't know what I
Good
did.
call.
Folder upon folder.
Anyway, subfolders. They would be it would be at the very end.
Are we looking at the erosion controls are the limit of work?
No, we're looking at putting permanent markers to make sure
Or
it's there.
permanent demarcation?
I don't think we did.
I thought we did.
Don't say it.
Doesn't look like it.
Now's our chance.
Well, that's findings of fact, hold on.
We can also go back and double check the minutes.
It's okay.
But
Because
if we
put
have
it
them,
in now.
I would have put them out there.
I don't see it, but can't do it now.
Sure, if we're writing orders.
Sorry, Julian. So boundaries to be placed along the 100-foot
Permanent.
Hmm?
Permanent ones,
permanent
i.e. boulders.
in perpetuity.
Can you spell that?
Forever. Location and type
To be
to
approved
be
by.
submitted and approved by the commission prior to the certificate of compliance.
Save some boulders.
Save some
At
boulders.
where along the 100-foot?
I actually did,
Well, I don't know, this is a weird, this isn't the.
Somebody did the wrong thing again.
This
I
is
don't
the
know where
wrong-
you are.
This isn't even the right plan.
No.
No, it's
That's my cousin's.
There we go.
So along
Can we
that,
reference flag numbers or something? Or-
No, cause.
No,
we're
because they're
100
too
feet
far away from the
them.
100.
Oh,
no.
delineation, okay.
and so I would say from the road to where it jogs away.
Sounds great.
Yeah, sounds all right to me.
Is that a technical term?
Yep. Jog.
Wait, from where to where?
Where it, from the road going east until the grading extends to the south.
Joey, you wanna help with the
So
directions?
bad.
I think she's a little
What
bit
are the
off.
lines?
I'm good, I just had to have my head in the right direction.
She keeps doing this, pretty soon she can follow the chair.
Well, you look at the arrow.
There's gonna be a row of hay
Rotate
bales
that.
and silt
Yeah.
fence there, we'll just follow that one
Yeah.
before they're done.
Just throw some boulders in and you're good.
Permanent markers to be placed along the erosion controlled boundary until grading moves to the south.
There you go.
However you wanna word it, really,
In perpetuity.
in perpetuity.
Yeah, you gotta keep putting hay bales there, in perpetuity.
So,
No fishing.
so is that where we wanted to stop though, at the turn?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
probably.
think it goes uphill
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, it's pretty,
So I'm trying to think what the. Oh no, cause that's the 100 at the edge of the 100, so if they extend further east, there's not a problem.
Right.
oh no,
Right,
you
okay.
can go as
All
far
right.
as you want.
Okay. So amended with 2 specials, correct?
Correct.
Second it. Is that
How
what
about
you
somebody
want?
makes a
Who
motion?
made the motion?
I thought you made the motion.
Can't we,
No, she was just, we were writing the,
I move,
there.
so moved.
Second.
Sure, take his second away.
Oh, that's all right.
Other discussion,
All right, doesn't matter.
roll call.
Langer and I.
Black eye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Williams and I.
Dan's eye.
Crane eye. There.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're not
Let
helping.
me find the agenda. There we are.
Kill it again.
So now we have, now this is an amended,
This is a new submission.
new
And it
submission.
was published as a hearing. And this is Mark's.
Okay, so then we're going to, yeah, this is why I have questions. So I'm just gonna ask 1 or 2 questions and then we'll continue, Mark, okay?
Yep.
I'm gonna open the hearing for notice of intent for Mary Clario on Glenwood Road. How does this NOI interact with the previous NOI that is being taken by DEP? Taken over, because they,
So there's still this is still sits with DEP for a superseding order of conditions based on an appeal. What this filing is doing is it's separating the work in the lot on lot 6 from the chain of title from the remaining 10 acres that he owns. So the reason for this filing is to remove it from his chain of title. So it will have an independent chain of title filed under a new deed that was created for this lot. The previous filing was filed when it was all remaining land before the lot was separated. Now that the lot's separated, it has its own deed. This will go on that deed's chain of title, and this will follow along probably the exact same process. We haven't withdrawn the other application, for lack of a better term,
okay.
until this catches up, and at which point we'll probably do so.
Wouldn't you have to abandon it now that it's not the same
So
lot now?
I've had this experience before, so we can move through this public hearing and issue this order, and then they have to decide, are they gonna withdraw their initial application, or are they gonna withdraw the one we just approved?
This doesn't negate the first one?
No,
No,
it
it
doesn't,
doesn't.
it doesn't negate it, but they have to actually abandon the other one before we approve this, assuming we approve this.
I don't think
No.
we have, not before, but they have to decide which to move
I thought you couldn't have 2 concurrent
Correct.
applications.
So they either have to withdraw from so we can make our conditions contingent upon the
Ah,
withdrawal.
Is this
okay.
already cut off?
It's cut off now, but the order of conditions isn't officially issued because of the appeal.
Right. Okay,
So it's still pending with Central Region.
Why was it appealed?
They didn't like
as I
it.
recall, there was a,
Was it zone A?
no, I don't think they did it on their own. I think they did it
It was not an appeal from DEP, it was an appeal from an
from
abutter.
in a butter.
Oh.
DEP has since walked the site a few times, and we just asked them to hold off until we can separate the chain of title. So I believe they're just in limbo at this point.
I just don't understand why it doesn't negate the first one. If we issue this one, I don't understand why it doesn't negate it. Because otherwise, if you chose the first one, now it's back to one big lot. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
But what makes sense doesn't matter.
Right.
It's just a way to clear the title.
Okay,
on
that's
that
fine.
land. Yeah,
That's fine, I'm just asking.
and I don't know, I'm not an attorney, so I can't answer that.
Thank God.
Wow.
All right. So given that, at the applicant's request, I would like a motion to continue. 2 weeks, okay? Or do you wanna go?
I'm just waiting for the DEP number.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Hey, any public comment? No.
No, because I'm not
That's
going to the
right,
public
that's
portion, I'm not
Langer,
going to
aye.
the public comment portion yet.
I'm just making sure.
Clock eye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Williamson.
Jan's eye.
Alcohol eye.
Crane eye. Now, new business. It says water concern, well, they're all water concerns, but there are different there are actually 2 different sets of water concerns at Brice Lemon. Oh, wait, we have a raised. I see a raised hand for 59 Woodside. Is this for which issue is your hand raised?
Keith Bishop, 59 Woodside. Yeah, I was perhaps premature, but I actually have videos of the water concerns. At
Okay,
Brice
well,
Lemon, 2 different
so
videos,
this is
that
about the
was all.
water concerns, that's fine, we'll get to it, I just wanted
Yes,
to
sir.
make sure that I didn't miss it earlier for an earlier topic.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. Alrighty, so the one I'm gonna talk about first is the behavior of the detention basin and the problems that they have at what's called the Phase 2 detention basin, even though it's not in Phase 2 anymore. There are two outlets, I believe, the big one and the small one. And the small one is lower than the big one, and the small one has been overtopped recently, so that water is flowing directly out of that detention basin into the wetland. It's my understanding that an extension has been put on that one. But now that one is taller than the big one, so Clea, am I right that they need to put another one on the other outflow?
No, we stopped it with the one plug that we put on. I had Tommy call you the other day, cause he was there with Alan. And, I wanted to make sure that he told you exactly what was happening. Alan, what's happening is the pond is so full, it hasn't been this full in a long time, so it's designed, so when the big
You could
sediment
call it a
goes-
swimming pool. Some would call it a swimming pool.
It's,
We have seen kids in it.
it's, yeah, it's taking on a life of its own. But it's got, it's designed to let the big stuff fall to the bottom.
Right.
And, you know, and all the silt comes out, and then we let the water out after everything settles to the bottom. Well, it's so high that it was going right out.
Right.
But the only stuff that was really going out was very, very fine dust almost, like, Alan looked at it, he was fine with it. He wanted, you know, DCI was out there right away. But,
Well, that's what causes the discolor,
yeah, right.
because the big stuff doesn't discolor the water.
This, yeah,
dust
the
does.
dust, yeah, so. It didn't cause any issues downstream or anything like that. And we did plug it so that we could let it, you know.
Let it settle,
Settle
sure.
down, and then I think Tommy might have been over there today, starting to let the water out, or he plans on going in the morning. But I mean, if it would ever stop raining for 5 minutes, we could,
That is the problem lately, isn't it?
we could get ahead of it, you know?
I told him we walked over and saw it.
Is that the big pond, Clea?
The one,
On Woodside Avenue?
yeah, on the left.
That's the one they won't allow us to put a fence around. And now that the water's so high and all the kids are home from school, that's the situation we tried talking about with the HOA way back when. Somebody's kid falling in that pond, getting drowning or what have you. And the town, it doesn't behoove the town to put a fence around the detention pond. And now you got a situation, maybe once in 100 years or whatever it is, because of all the heavy rain, but you have a situation, and I guess you're the owner, so you would be liable for that?
No, it's.
Excuse me, would you identify yourself for the
My
record?
name's Gene Cougar, I live at 71 Woodside Avenue.
Thank you.
Brice, Lemon Estates. So, if somebody falls into that pond and drowns, that would be your responsibility?
No, but,
It wouldn't? Don't you own it?
No, it's already.
Doesn't
Don't you own the HOA?
I'm the manager of the HOA, everybody is part of the HOA who owns a lot. But through the chair, if I may.
Yeah.
The fence is certainly not a conservation.
Oh,
yeah,
I was gonna not let that go very far, you're exactly right.
And we've been through it at the planning board for every time something happens, and they keep saying no, so, I mean, it is what it is. The pond is right now not complete, and just, if you want me to answer, I will. If you want me to not talk about it, I won't. But once that pond is complete, the design has a low flow channel. So that means that no water will stay in that pond for more than a day. And right now, it's designed to stop any sediment that goes into it. The sediment settles out, so there's gonna be water in it, there has to be water in it. It's just that there's been so much water lately that it can't get down far enough to start releasing it, so
it was a plug put in, it wasn't extended?
we plugged it. I don't believe we extended it. We might have had to because of the height of the water, but I don't think it went over the other pipe. It wouldn't have done any good if we brought it over the other pipe. So if he might have extended it just to plug it, but he did plug it so that the water could settle.
Okay, so my question for the commission, this is, all the rain that we've had that's soaked the ground and lets all that water just accumulate in the detention basin, how can we relate that reasonably to a 100-year storm flow? Which is the design parameter, if I remember correctly, for that basin.
And it's not even fully operational yet either.
Yeah, I know, which is a whole nother
But
Point.
I don't even know if we've had a 100-year storm.
Right.
I don't think, based on,
No,
Well, I've
not
seen it.
24 hours.
that we haven't seen a 50-year storm.
It's a fuzzy question, and I admit it's fuzzy because it's not in a single 24-hour period, but when you accumulate water continuously over a period of time, even if it's not the 7 inches in 24 hours, I'm just trying to find that the effect, the cumulative effect over time can be the same because the ground is saturated. So the whatever water comes after ground saturation is no choice but to flow.
Right.
And nobody regulates the groundwater.
I mean, when Glenn and I walked it a week ago,
We
we walked it a week ago, we could see it, but it was catching what it's supposed to catch.
Actually, Joe,
Yeah,
you're wrong,
it was just catching really.
because that's stormwater.
Oh,
Right.
yeah,
So this is all stormwater we're talking about, and
Nobody regulates the rainwater.
nobody regulates the rain, but everybody
Yeah.
regulates the flow.
Right.
So again, when we saw it before this last, it was doing what it was supposed to do.
Sure.
And it's not even operational 100% yet. Because even that's gonna get dredged huge when it's done.
And we plan on doing that within the next few months. It's just gotta dry out a little bit.
Right. Yeah, because I know we had talked about that earlier, like, yeah, that's on the schedule to get that dredged, and there's a lot coming out of there.
There is.
And nothing,
there will be.
And not much, really nothing was coming out the other, it's. you
Now,
got
let me
Yeah.
make one other point really, 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 really clear. Nothing about Brice Lemon as a totality is under the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission.
Right.
That's not correct.
The totality, the project as a whole.
So we could issue enforcement at any
We,
time.
we can do that, but I also wanna say DEP took it over.
We can still
They issued
enforce.
us, we can issue enforcements, but we have to be careful. I know that we have some support for doing that from DEP. I'm just saying, DEP took it. And I'm not saying they can have it,
No,
I'm
it's
just
still
saying
our,
that.
still our town, we still watch
Okay.
it, but we looked at it.
If Gary's been down here yet? Don't know.
I have no knowledge that he's been to look at it.
All right, because
He mentioned he was gonna go on
they were
Friday.
going to go, he was going to go down here.
I haven't spoken to him since he said he was going.
So I think the biggest problem is just that there's turbid water coming out of the detention basin. It's getting into, even Alan said, made its way downstream and the other side of towards Millbrook. So there is sediment that's made its way into a wetland resource area. So I think I wanna know a little bit more on how you're gonna stop some of that sediment and what those impacts look like to the stream and wetlands itself versus the stormwater issue.
Is there, do you see any sediment there? Did it deposit any? It didn't,
That just showed the
yeah,
river.
but it's turbid water, right?
Which is
But that's
sediment.
gone.
So I think that's what we need to
But that-
better understand, is so you need to provide a little bit better of an assessment of what the impacts have been from this overflow because of the project. Cause even if we've had a lot of rain, it's still your responsibility to ensure that the wetlands are protected, whether, you need to de-water it somewhere else.
You could probably put more on that other side where the outflow is, Clay. Just redo the hay bales and stuff on that side.
Yeah,
You know, that small one that comes out, do a double layer there. Last time you did stone.
yeah.
Just reinforce that piece of it, it's gonna catch most of it, because when we walked it before this and we were just walking, it was one of those, we didn't see deposits in the ground.
No, there's none, yeah.
So it's one of those, again, we can look at it, in fact, I will look at it. You don't mind.
No, not at all.
So we'll go look.
Anytimes.
Go ahead.
When did you walk this?
Who are you? You get it.
Steve Maintains, 51 Woodside.
Okay. We walked it before this past Sunday.
Okay.
And we had seen it, and you saw it, but we didn't see any deposits. Now, what happened since Sunday?
Before this past Sunday, there was no deposit. It's because it hopped
Did
the
it?
sill fence. Yeah, it hopped the sill fence. There's video of it.
Okay, well, we'll go walk it.
It's-
We'll walk it.
We walked in there Monday with Alan from the DCR.
We got
With
4
Alan.
inches of rain last week.
Yeah, we didn't.
And frankly, you don't have to walk it. There's video footage of it.
The video of it going, we need to see the deposits after the fact,
Okay.
is what, because the turbid water going over it, it's going.
Yeah.
But if it's not depositing,
True, alright.
It's one of those, so again,
Gotcha, yep.
I mean,
No,
the
no,
videos would be great, send them,
It makes sense, it makes sense.
So it's one of those, but I mean, he doesn't,
We
he
have
doesn't,
those-
he clearly
we
never
have those
minds if we go
videos.
look at it anyways.
Yeah.
So we'll go, I'll go tomorrow after work and I'll take a peek. And grab you, if you wanna go, we'll go look. But I think that piece on that backside, you know what, just reinforce that piece, quick.
Well, yeah,
Cause that worked good last time. I mean, this is insane what we're getting.
it's insane.
But between that and swapping out the hay and stuff, just swapping them out, just add to it, don't take out what's there.
We'll get on top of that.
Cause even just jumping to 3/4 stone last time made all the difference in the world.
Okay. Just
Just a
the
place for
the
it to
water got in,
Alright.
over the top of that, and
You
that's
don't
why.
have,
it ran
you don't
out.
have a big pile of wood chips anywhere, do you?
We did until we put them everywhere.
Well, but again, I mean, 'cause
Yeah.
again, now we accept,
We're gonna
now
make
that we accept all that, that's almost a perfect use for this, cause it's gonna catch it in that and that's easy to clean up.
Those stump grindings do well in
You
this
gonna be
storm.
available tomorrow? Maybe walk with us?
I am, I'm available. Tommy's better to walk with you, cause he's the one who's gonna do it, but I'm happy to do it if you'd like us.
Well, here I can get the hook in you.
I'm there.
We'll pick at tomorrow. If you wanna go with him, I'll go in the afternoon when I get out.
Yeah,
But-
Oh, anytime. You know, you tell me when you wanna go. I'll-
sure, yeah, I mean, we can wait
Yeah.
till the afternoon's
Do it in
fine.
the afternoon. I'll call you and I'll call him.
Okay.
You wanna go, Glenda? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's been spending a lot of time on my sites lately.
And the good news is it looks, I mean, current projections are no rain until Friday.
Well, you know what? Well, hey.
An hour ago, yeah.
Just tell, why don't we-
Literally just.
Glenda, what time you're out at 3?
Just call her Rhonda.
No, Glenda. You're out at 3?
Yeah.
Why don't we just meet over here at 3:30?
Okay,
Or if you're not there, just send Tommy.
no, I'll be there, and Tommy will be there too.
Yeah, just 3:30, and we'll look at it.
Sure.
Okay.
How do you get back
Oh,
to
hold
your?
on.
Hold on,
I've only
hold on, hold on.
Scott's running the show.
We've got a different issue.
Yep.
There's a question that you asked that I never heard an answer to, which is the evaluation of what's gone away, when that's going to happen, and any necessary
I
corrective
think I'd like
actions.
a report from a qualified professional that looks at the discharge points and the wetlands to see if sediment has tracked further downstream.
Can I really be a pill here? Are you gonna do the same thing on the next thing we're
Do we
gonna talk
wanna,
about?
is that something?
Really?
Is that a question we
You
wanna
think they're gonna
ask
stop
right
this
now?
project?
Or do we wanna wait till after we take a look
Doesn't matter.
and see what we got there? I mean,
Well,
on the surface, it
we-
may look pretty bad, but you.
We do have a
Depth more
report
than-
of turbid water in the wetland.
From
From
DCR.
DCR.
Yeah.
Right.
That tells us that tells me that we ought to get this report. And if necessary, a plan.
See, I would've thought DCR would've requested that, be honest with you.
Didn't see anything.
I think we should.
That photo
you
was
were
from
there.
DCR. That was from Alan, who said the turbid water was there.
Right, but they didn't deposit anything though. It didn't-
Well, but that's,
We walked it with him.
Cleve, the point is to actually analyze it to make sure it didn't, or where it did.
Yeah,
It settled somewhere, it can't not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
it's gotta
happy
be
to do
somewhere.
that. I
Yeah.
don't think you're
But it
gonna
might
find
not
anybody.
be-
Cause your
In the wet-
discharge is supposed to be clear,
Yeah,
not like.
Right.
It's not supposed to rain
Just
this
like
much either.
the sides of the road is all
Right.
for the last 3 weeks.
Did you see Palmagussit Road when it went into the pond down there? They'd
We'll
have
be
thrown
getting
me
to
in
that in a
jail if I
little
did
while.
that.
We're getting to that.
No.
It's next on the list.
Yeah. They would've had the chair out for you. Well, I can't believe that, you know, sorry for going.
Okay.
off topic.
No,
No,
let's
stop.
take this back to this. Any other questions about the detention pond or comments about the detention pond?
Well, if we're not gonna get rain for
Couple
till
days.
Friday,
Yeah.
we should be able to go over there and see that detention pond empty. Right, cause it's supposed to be designed to empty in 24 hours.
No, that's when it's
Not this one.
operational.
When it's operational.
It's just temporary.
It's not operational.
We're gonna start letting the water out of it.
He's got it plugged, it's plugged.
Right.
It's plugged right
I know.
now.
It ain't letting.
But I don't wanna have to answer that question in 2 weeks, Joe.
Peter, you had another question from over here.
Okay.
Or a comment.
Yes.
You had
Someone?
something, right?
Oh, yeah, Cameron Morales. Oh, it's not about the retention bond, I just,
Okay.
before we moved on, Brice Estates, but if, it's not about the retention bond.
Okay, I do still see the hand up for 59 Woodside. I've not completely ignored you, but is this about the detention pond or about the other water problem we're gonna discuss next?
No, sir, about the other water problem.
Great, thanks. All right. So, I think we have our plan, right? We know it needs, everybody knows what we need, what needs to be done, right?
Yeah.
And you're meeting tomorrow at 3:30, you say?
Does she have to put? One, two,
Because you're gonna have
Yes.
four, so I'll post
Yeah.
it.
Well, we can't, it's too late to post it.
Okay, we won't discuss it
Can't
then.
just, okay.
You're right, we can be, it just
there,
won't
we can't
be a
discuss it.
public meeting.
Right.
We'll know what, we know how to deal with that also.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Are we setting any sort of?
Just send pictures to the board, one person.
Okay.
That's true. Our next meeting?
Me, Glenda, and Joe.
It's only 3, it's not a quorum.
Unless it's me,
Right.
if I show
Then
up.
that-
Yeah, but it is what, it's even.
But again, we can just.
You show up later after they're done. I'm just kidding.
Right.
Julian, I don't know if you guys
Actually,
heard,
I don't know if
we're
I can
looking
make it
for
tomorrow.
the
We'll see.
report by the next meeting, which is August 1st.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Same difference, we're sending pictures out to everybody with no comments. Yeah. So everybody has them, the usual.
Qualified professional.
Is Julian sending it or has it be someone else? Cause,
Julian's doing it, who's qualified to do this.
but isn't that conflict of interest?
How's that conflict?
He's the original wetlands engineer for
I'll be the
this.
SWIP guy for that phase.
You just swip, you are the
I am SWIP guy.
I know, but don't we want an independent person?
I am independent.
We can
That's what
have
this
someone
says.
review it if we're, I think at this point, we're just asking the applicant to provide a report.
Evaluate it.
Non-biased, preferably, thank you.
There is no bias. I had courses I had to take for.
All right,
this.
pulling it back.
I paid for them, so I'm gonna get to use them.
You still talking?
Moving on. So there have been a number of reports of waters in backyards on grounds. My previous question is going to come into play again about how quickly the system can drain. Practically, how long we can expect water to sit in, can sit, for lack of a better phrase, in yards. Based on the amount of rain that we've gotten in the past couple of weeks.
Which end are you talking about right now? 15 or
No, who's still on Brice?
the same, which phase?
1 and 2.
Yeah, it's 1 and 2 together, so it's all.
Individual house lots now.
Yeah,
Alright, cause,
It's mainly 2.
when I was requested to go up there, the Main Street side had some issues, but not the kind of issues that the Charnock Hill side had.
mhm.
Right? And what I don't know, and I couldn't determine, was that whole hill from like 71 up to the top of the hill, right, is wet, real wet, all the backyards, I mean, and there was a reason for that. Excessive rain, probably being one of the bigger items, but there were other things that, on the constructions, on the other side, beyond those backyards, I don't know how much was actually coming off of that and overwhelmed the erosion control measures at the top of the hill on the back, on those backyards, on that crest. But it looked, I mean, where it blew out the hay bales, and I checked yesterday, you had already repaired them, everything else looked pretty good there. But, I wonder if we've got something exacerbating the problem by adding flow from the other site under construction currently. Whether that's,
That doesn't flow over, well, it is a phase 4.
if you go up and
extension
look
along.
at it, you'll
That's
see
what I'm
it.
trying to figure out is the flow, yeah, it's been too long. So there is flow from phase 4, but phase 4 hasn't really started yet, has it? No, I didn't
Talking
think
about
so.
one, he's talking about Lemon Circle, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about Lemon Circle. What he's saying is the water coming from there, coming
Okay.
across the backyards is where it's coming from onto these people's property and then going into the road and maybe going into the
So I wonder
retention pond as
if
well.
some additional measures may help until that whole side is beyond the hill, beyond their backyards. If some additional measures were deployed up there, you know, probably not much, I mean, you wouldn't need a whole lot. But to eliminate that additional flow that's coming down into their yards. I see that as being, something we should definitely look at and talk about.
Yeah, we're thinking, we're going over it now, but we think maybe if we get some either wood chips or some loam and seed on them, they're doing cuts and fills on the lots right now.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get some loam and seed on the backside of those, where they're doing the fills, and that really should, if it ever stops raining, it'll take. And, you know, other than that, we're gonna have to maybe add some wood chips to them or something like that, but there is a lot of water coming down there, and the silt fence was catching it, and then it was overtopping.
And overtopped, right.
And when I went there yesterday, I got a couple calls on Sunday from some of the residents, and I went there yesterday to look at it. I mean, the ground's saturated, but pretty much the turbid water that was coming across the yards seems to have dissipated, or I mean, what I saw anyway. I'm not trying to degrade what happened, but you know, there's an awful lot of turbid water coming across the yards. And it's just really fine sands, you know, fine particles that are suspended in the water, and it looks, I think, a lot worse than it is. Once it does flow through, it moves away, and then it has caused. There's water that's been sitting on some of the yards for a long time, and I don't know if I'm causing it or if just because I'm changing the grades up there, it's causing it. You know.
Well, that's why I say if we look at that, maybe add some measures. Because I feel sorry for the folks, I mean.
I do too.
This is the time of year you wanna use your backyard.
Right.
And they don't have necessarily swimming pools.
It's really saturated back there.
Yeah.
It's really saturated.
Clay, you wanna see some videos?
I saw them. People have been emailing them to me. Yeah, I mean, I spoke to people on Sunday, and I went down there yesterday as soon as I could and looked, and, you know, I mean, anything that needs to be cleaned up or fixed in their yards, we're obviously gonna do it. I mean, you know, if we caused it, we'll fix it, you know.
So, Clay, I have a question. Do I remember correctly that some subsurface structure was put at the backside of some of the lots at the bottom of the hill?
It was in between two of the lots.
I don't think, it wouldn't have been on Oakley. It was actually below Oakley, so it would have been on Woodside, I thought.
I thought it was at 59, it was in between two lots.
51 and
It's a catch basin back there.
Catch basin.
Yeah.
You're talking about on the other side where we put that trench in to catch the water? Yeah, that,
Coming off Oakley.
that's pretty, whatever we could leave there, we left that.
Is that it? But it doesn't, you don't have an appurtenance in the ground.
No,
The
it's
catches,
just a
it's just a
trench.
swale.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There was a catch basin back there.
I
Because we've
thought
walked it
we
before.
talked about a catch basin, there was something going in there.
I think there's one in
talking about
the,
this way.
There's one on the side, down the side by the road.
In the back edge of the backyard before the slope comes up to Oakley, I forget the house number up there. Let me see if I have any pictures.
Is he talking about George's?
You're talking
Yeah,
about
see.
49, which is his house, and between mine, there's a swale that runs between the two houses.
Yeah.
there's no
There's a
grate.
catch basin.
It's a
and
grate,
There's
right?
a little grate down there
Okay.
with, I think, a 12-inch pipe. I
It's
think
just a
you guys
drop
are-
inlet. There's a drop inlet.
Drop
with a
inlet.
12-inch
Okay, that
pipe
must be
that's-
what
Okay.
I remember.
That's what I
Yeah.
remember.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's like a French drain all the way down.
So,
my lot
so
around.
then, with the amount of water that's staying on the properties in that area, I have to ask if that's being overwhelmed or is clogged.
Well, I don't know if is that being affected by our work there, or is it just what's going on? Because I mean, it's rained a lot, and he called me, George called me the other day, and, you know, he had told me that a tremendous amount of water came in. I did go by and look at it, you know, right after that, and kind of cleared itself up pretty quick, but, you know, I mean, we had to design that, and Kyle Holgren had to approve it. So, I mean, it.
Oh, I agree, there was,
I mean, all done up to standards, it's just that, I just think everything's just being overwhelmed. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It's just so much rain.
I don't know if the water's coming off the top of the hill because of Oakley, the way it's split, But it just seems real excessive for that much water to be coming from between really two houses and funneling around. So I don't know if there's a water flow at the top of the hill that's dropping into that, that's directing into that. But I don't
It
know.
would have to go uphill though, wouldn't it?
No, at the top of the hill would drain down into it.
So this is behind Oakley.
Behind Oakley,
The split.
top of the hill.
There's a swale that comes down.
Right.
That covers all of that.
Right.
Down, and then there are the, well, 4 or 5 houses on Oakley. Those should drain towards the road, but the couple of houses, especially the one where the swale from the top of the hill comes down,
That's our house.
that would have to go into the swale that continues down the hill to the back of the next property. And is that where the swale starts that was added to get to the drop inlet?
I think that's where it ends.
That's where it ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
In other words, it comes down around the back of that house
Yeah.
up the top of the hill, and it drops into that area there, and it comes down into that catch basin or drop inlet and goes out. If I'm understanding you correctly, I think I am.
Okay.
You have another comment back there.
I know, hold on, I'm still thinking here. And we will get to everybody here who wants to speak, have no fear, but we should have a sequence to this. Right, because there's the one that comes all the way back
That
here.
swale comes down to here, and then it comes.
And then it goes right, oh, I'm sorry,
No, that's all right.
goes down that swale,
Yes, and there's an inlet right there. at the
right
top
there,
of the
okay,
hill.
so the inlet's right there.
Yeah.
Interesting, okay. Do we have topo lines for this at all?
Pull some up.
Probably won't be.
It may not be.
I don't know that it, oh, that's right, because they're probably 10 foot on this, aren't they?
Well, it's also probably pre-development,
Oh, yeah, that's.
so they're a little different.
Just a smidge. Because I'm trying to, because if this house, if everything went this way, but I don't think it does. I think it all goes that way.
It does.
It sheds.
Yeah. For the most part.
So then it hits the road, which the catch basin here, and that, that drop inlet should have connected to that catch basin. That's what I remember the plan to be anyway. Okay. Yeah, it looks different. It looks different from this angle.
I honestly think Noah's gonna have to build an ark pretty soon. I mean, it's biblical, the rains. I mean, it's awful. Of course, he'd never get a permit these days, but hey.
So I saw in the email that, did you say DEP was already out there?
No,
PCR was out there, DEP.
I thought Gary Domain was out.
No, I spoke to Gary Delman
You're supposed to
on
go
the
last
phone
Friday.
on Thursday, and he indicated he was gonna try to get out there on Friday, but I have not spoken to him since, so I
That's all right,
cannot confirm that.
We don't know that he went and what he saw. So it's almost like. Hold on, I'm gonna
Well,
make us.
and I think unfortunately, some of the backyard flooding isn't necessarily jurisdictional to us.
That is a question that is going to come up, but the other thing is it might, I hate to say words like this, but it might make sense to go out there on Friday when it's raining.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I keep my umbrella in the car now.
I gotta put what, yeah, boots.
I've given up on the umbrella. Too much lightning lately.
Mud boots.
Yeah.
Well, that is the other thing
Waders,
about
full
Friday,
waders,
it
just
does say
go.
lightning too, but.
Yeah.
So make sure you bring the metal umbrella.
Yeah. My waders are always in my car.
Why don't we post a meeting for Friday? God, what time? Damn it, we have that interview, what time is that
Thursday,
interview?
that's Thursday.
Oh, that's Thursday.
That's Thursday. Right?
Yeah, that is right.
Come on, smart people.
We're gonna get us an agent.
Gonna try.
We're gonna try.
It's baptism by Too much water.
Yeah. Have a practical.
Actually, projections are for noticeable rain, but there's no point where it says noticeable. It's gonna rain more at 3 o'clock than at 1 o'clock. It doesn't really say that. Does look a little more in the afternoon, but again, that's all gonna change. I'm just thinking about posting a time for us to, whoever can, to show up.
I can do afternoon.
Yes, thinking afternoon. It'll have to be afternoon. I got meetings all morning. Post it for 2 o'clock. No, post it from 1 to 4. And when we show up, we show up.
Mika, you look so concerned.
No, from 1 to 4?
Yeah. And then basically we'll have a last minute decision as to what time to show up based upon what the weather really looks like that day. I don't wanna plan a time.
It's gonna help me schedule fantastic. I think maybe I'll leave the country again. I mean, just staying in country's bothering me.
Yeah, like you needed an excuse. All right, so what I want to look at there is, I'm actually gonna start at the high ground and work down.
I want to ask everybody for permission.
I don't need permission. Who do you think you're talking to? But my plan, anyway, is start at the top, at the back of Oakley, and start following the water. And see which of it can be jurisdictional, because it's stormwater, and which of it is just water's collecting on the ground because it doesn't have anywhere to go. And start to make some determinations for that.
Yeah. I'd say in the meantime, make sure all your erosion controls and BMPs are up to snuff, but because you're not using silt sacks, right? Because it's a temporary basin.
What,
You don't have silt sacks in, right? Because it's a temporary.
the town owns the road, so we don't,
Okay.
we're not doing anything there anymore.
That's right, we took phase 2, didn't we?
Yeah. So it's not really,
Yeah, I was just thinking if that was blocking some of it, but if they're, because they're not in.
it doesn't even have any, I mean, I think everything, all the jurisdiction's gone at this point.
Yeah.
If I may, Keith Bishop, 59 Woodside, I have videos that I would love to share my screen. It's coming from the top of Lemon. It's coming down what will be the entrance to the road, which is not accepted. And, you know, lucky me, my backyard is the low point from both directions. It's uphill both ways from my house. But I can demonstrate where the silt fence has collapsed on 2 different locations. The water is collecting at the top of Oakley, and what cannot go down the swales that we talked about outside of Steve and George's house, it runs down the silt fence, and gravity's a bitch. So it just collects at the lowest point, and just piles up and escapes where it can. And I have 2 videos of that I would love to show the forum if I can share my screen, and that's an appropriate media source. But it's coming through the construction site from Lemon and Oakley at the same time. Yes, I understand it's biblical amounts of water, but it's coming from the construction zones.
Wouldn't it be in the, Mr. Chairman, wouldn't it be in the road?
It is. I can show you in the video, sir. And I saw you out yesterday shoveling the road, clearing the silt that had collected, which is great because now the road is clear, but it is settling and collecting in very, what's that, sir?
Which road are you talking about?
Woodside specifically.
I went down there yesterday when I looked, I wasn't shoveling anything. Maybe the guys that were working there.
Brown was out there with push broom pushing it down the sewer.
Yes, sir. I can pull my home security cameras and show the video of it happening. So your crews were doing that. That's fine. I think that's where it belongs. So I'm not
Okay, hold
criticizing you for
on,
doing
one
that.
person at a time, please.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I've already forgotten your name at Mr. Woodside.
No problem. Keith Bishop.
Keith, yeah, so Keith, go ahead, please.
Excellent. Okay.
So, have we seen these videos? Have they been sent to us?
Those were
I
the
sent them.
stills that I sent over. I had taken pictures of that.
But did you,
Already on the Concom email, but I'm not certain if there's.
What he describes, I witnessed, I saw exactly what
no,
he
you didn't.
described.
You didn't, because you weren't here when the storm was happening.
that's a commissioner.
No, I know, I'm saying nobody was here when the storm was happening.
But he's agreeing with you.
No, what I'm saying is I haven't shared the photos. That's why I'm saying I don't know if anybody's seen them.
Can I just put this down so as he's talking, you can
Mr.
see?
Chairman, may I?
Hold on, Clay.
Okay.
I think I do want to see the videos, so let me stop
You have to ask the chair, sorry.
mine and then. All right, Keith, you can share.
Oh, excellent. Okay. You would think I would know how to use technology if I said I'm going to share my screen, huh? Okay, so I'm going to start real quick. So this is where the swale or the silt fence originally broke. You can see it very turbulent. I'm just going to skip through because I walk slow in muck boots. It's compiling up. The money shot comes up in a moment, where you can see it collecting up, down all of Woodside in both directions. This is about 4 inches at its deepest, but it's coming up through, oops, I'm sorry, I'll pause back here real quick. So Lemon exits right around here. So it's coming through here, flowing down all of Woodside. If I'm gonna back up real quick again, you can, oh goodness. You can see, ooh, I don't know what I just did there.
Ain't technology
my.
grand.
Go under settings. The little gear at the bottom.
If the chair wants to see it.
Oh goodness, what did I do?
It's fine.
Did I ruin this video?
Oh no.
Great. No, you don't need to see my daughter.
That's
Wow, I ruined it. Oh, wow. Ah, for the love of God.
Peter, is he related to you?
Well,
Would the chair like to see the video?
the storm basin, the storm basin is right here at the end of my driveway, so it's collecting in all directions from the storm basin, or into the storm basin.
Monday?
Which day was this?
Sunday.
Sunday.
This was
Thank you.
Sunday. And you can see it in this image. What I was trying to do before I ruined the other video is it's spilling across into sidewalk all down from where Lemon exits, because there's just too much water, right? So it's spanning the entire road.
Right.
Can I speak now?
Yes.
Okay, so I went out and looked at that area, exact area, I stood right next to the fence. It doesn't even show any sediment any longer. All
That's
that
not
stuff that
true.
came, I was just there. The only stuff that came out was the stuff where he just drilled his fence post. Ask Nick, I just talked to him yesterday.
Well, we'll
You were in
evaluate
my-
that on
He talked-
Friday.
Let me talk.
You were,
So, it's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn, Clay.
So, the water came over there and it went into the road, into the storm drain. That's the water that it had just the fines suspended in it. That's what ended up in the detention pond.
Right.
Because the storm drains do empty into there, and that's what filled up the pond, and that's why that was going over and into the wetlands. This stuff is already, I mean, from what I saw yesterday, and I was there, you know, probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, all that was gone. It was just, it was green, it was really it was soaked, but there was no turbid water there.
the water is gone, the silt is there.
I
You
don't
can
see,
see
sir, I don't know his name, but
Well, again,
I don't see it.
we will have our own evaluation of this.
Yes.
Okay.
We got 1%.
Here's where, just wanted to point, the silt fence also broke up on this side towards Oakley. It's a far shot, but that's running water on the other side as well.
Hey, Keith, let me take it out from there, please.
Yes, please.
57 Woodside Avenue, Adamala, Kinto.
Yep.
So that's our property. Yes, they came to fix the silt fence, but you guys should take a look at it. It's not done properly. all the A's are not on it. They just literally put the bags and put pegs in front and back of it, so that's not gonna catch anything. I went to check it over the weekend when I was mowing. I literally had to be grabbing the A's that were moved from the storm water, try to put it back there and put some of my grass clippings there just to see. So all along that part where you guys fixed the fence, they didn't put A in there. It's only the bags that are just sitting there right now.
So whoever
So if
makes
there's
it
time
to,
again, it's still gonna go through.
whoever gets there tomorrow, please evaluate that silt fence.
Okay.
What, 59?
I know what it is.
I'm on 59.
Okay.
He's 59, I'm 57.
Okay.
So we are like the center for all the water.
Okay.
So you
Show
said,
you
and you had
houses
mentioned
right
that
in his
there's no
yard.
silts.
Okay.
You had mentioned that.
And to be clear, does the Conservation Commission have permission to enter your property?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you said you had the permission when you asked, right?
Oh, he was being, yeah. Wait, we can answer his, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
All right, and you had mentioned that there's no silt left behind. My lawn is filled with silt.
I wasn't
And the
clear.
top portion is just the sand part of it. The bottom is clay.
Okay.
I'll
That's
take
how
a look,
bad
but
it is.
I don't
Like
see
I
it.
try to mow once, all you see on my lawn now is tire tracks.
It's very wet, but
Right.
I will tell you,
I
when
mean,
went
you're
on there
welcome to come to my property.
I did, I was there yesterday.
What's that?
But I mean, I was in, well, you can always go to the silt fence and everything.
We gotta look at it.
All right,
Trust me.
okay.
Okay, we're gonna look tomorrow.
So while y'all are there tomorrow, I have an erosion problem in the back of my yard that is pre all the rain, that has been there since the
Which
first
number
6
again,
months.
please?
5 Oakley Drive.
5 Oakley, okay.
The hill in the backyard is full of varying sizes of rocks and sticks, and I mean some really big rocks. And I mean, part of it has already fallen into my yard. There is a retaining wall that stops pretty much at my house. There's probably 40 feet left of that hill. So I don't know if we can get the rest of the retaining wall there so it quits falling into my yard.
Whose property's a hill? Yours?
I'm assuming. I don't really know, but I can tell you it's falling into my property. So
Probably outside our scope, but.
Oh, there's no question it's outside the scope of the Conservation Commission.
Erosion?
Yeah. So
aside from it
just
eroding
to
into our
clarify,
yard.
so what the Concom does is we review and approve permits around wetlands. So your property, especially Oakley, is over 100 feet away from the wetland resource area. So we didn't permit your property specifically because it's not within our jurisdiction. If the sediment or erosion were to make it to a wetland, then it becomes jurisdictional. So the erosional issue in terms of it falling kind of into isn't necessarily strictly Concom until or unless it takes up the silt that has fallen and makes its way across Woodside into that wetland that's down there. It's oddly specific what we do have jurisdiction over, but the construction of your lot, it was far enough away that it's not jurisdictional to our permits.
I was just wondering, cause I heard
Yeah.
a lot of like erosion talk
Yeah.
and that's eroding
Yeah.
into my yard.
So because when we were talking about the erosion here, it's because it's made it to a wetland. So when it picks up that sediment, then it becomes jurisdictional to us when it's farther than that 100 feet. But if it's just because the hill is eroding in general, wouldn't necessarily be jurisdictional to this discussion unless it's being carried. So in the overall stormwater discussion, yes, it might be relevant, but just the hill slope eroding.
I mean, it could be because there's a giant influx of water coming from the top of that hill
So that's
through
what I'm
our
saying,
yard.
yeah. So that's what
And then
I'm
it
saying.
goes down to the
Yep.
road,
Right.
so it's very possible that
Yep.
whatever y'all are talking about settling.
Well, that's why we're going up to.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah, Friday's gonna be a long walk.
Bring your boots.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you had your hand up a long time ago, so I wanted to see if you had anything else, not you, sorry, the person.
I mean, we have water issues just like everybody else. I've had probably 4 different contractors for like yard work and stuff. I'm from Louisiana, so I'm not used to having to grow grass, so I've had a lot of people out. So look.
Well, you should feel right at home then in Bayou.
Well, I mean, I tell you what, I've never seen water issues like this down there. I can tell you that. But even though it rains every day, So, I mean, you know, I've had a lot of people come out and just kind of look and, you know, look at the, you know, the standing water and all that stuff, and a lot of things are pitched. Like the yard
It's
is
the
almost
grading.
grading towards our house, so we're gonna have to get everything regraded, and plus the hill's falling, so it's just a lot of issues like that were there from but, you know, we're not contractors.
Right.
So we don't see it, and now it's causing problems, so we kinda come in here to see if there's anything we can get done besides having to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to fix problems that were there to begin with, was really why we're here.
Right. As Melissa says,
We have to make the evaluation.
Yeah.
We gotta see it.
that's where we'll start.
Well, I give all of you guys, you know, you can go on my property, you go in the backyard, knock on the door, we'll have a conversation.
Your Oakley?
Yeah, 5 Oakley Drive.
What's that? Oh, I know, we still have a couple more. I'm actually looking at Murphy at 48 Woodside. I see your hand up.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry to say, your audio's very bad. I actually couldn't understand you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, that's much better, thank you.
Okay. So I'm at 48 Woodside. I'm Jordan Murphy, and I have a dark greenhouse. It's actually right next to the lawn. And my backyard is part of way. And on the side of my yard, there was a temporary, ditch that was dug out by there. And all of the stuff that put in there actually washed into the wetlands. And a big hole in the yard, that temporary ditch you see, all it has moved into the wetlands. So you're looking around, could you also do my property statewide?
I will say we still had troubles hearing a bit of what you were saying, but I think we got the gist of it.
I had no idea.
Or is that
what you said.
hopeless?
I couldn't understand a word.
Something about temporary ditch.
Temporary ditch basically is full right now of stuff that washed into it.
What was the address there, Peter?
48.
Yeah, Peter, that's on the north side, we've walked that edge a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And that ditch is that swale that runs down to the detention basin.
Oh, well, that's
Which I
something,
wouldn't be surprised if it is full of water.
Right.
Basin's right there, it's pretty close.
When was the last time that was dredged at all, clean? The swale leading up to the,
I know we worked in the basin last July. I'm not positive whether or not he got into the swale or not. But, so I can't answer that.
okay, if you're not sure, that's,
I'm not sure.
saying you're not sure is a better answer than
Yeah.
coming up with something, I get that. So that might be another thing for us to look for tomorrow to look at in the sun. Sun, clouds, hopefully not rain. So, do we have more comments?
I've been trying to get this in. You were talking about the mulch tree bark that you put on those hills to,
I haven't put any yet.
well, you've had, my property, everybody's property has that, you grind up the stumps and you put this stuff on the hills.
No, mine don't.
Okay, well, that's not holding because the hill is too steep. Mr. Howard over here has a backyard that has the beginning of a Grand Canyon. They took out his bark and he's got a gully about 6 inches deep and about 8 inches wide and just coming down the hill.
You gotta talk to the chairman.
Well, okay, well, the chairman mentioned something about putting that stuff, or you mentioned putting it up to stop the
Wood
erosion.
chips.
It's not working. The hill is too steep. I don't know how it was approved. That hill should have been terraced to stop the rapid flow of water coming down when you get the heavy storms. But whatever they're using, whatever Blair puts on that hill is being washed right down because the water comes down with such force. You'll see. Lee, what's your?
So I live at 6 Oakley. My name is Lee Howard. So he's talking about my property. When it rains, it's caused a new waterfall in my backyard. There was a French drain system that was put in at the base of the hill that is being washed out because of the water. So you'll have debris come from the French drain down my driveway down Oakley, right? So that's what Gene is describing, because it is a steep hill in the backyard.
Oh, I remember that one, yeah.
I call it, my ski hill in the winter.
Scary ski hill.
Do other people have comments or questions? So these are all things we're gonna evaluate over the next several days.
So,
We'll be out to everybody's property. We'll take a look and see what we see. Yes?
so my question is, at demo like in 57 Woodside Avenue. If you guys don't have jurisdiction, where is the next step? What's our next course of action? Where would you direct us?
Well, it's gonna depend on what the nature of the problem is. Some of them will be DEP jurisdictional, purely. Some of them, I don't know who has jurisdiction over the shape of land, what the slopes are. That's a question that we've been asking in town a lot lately, and we don't have an answer today. When it turns into water flows, it's going to be either, well, it's gonna be us or DCR or DEP, depending. What's that?
Or planning.
For water?
Subdivision control law, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Subdivision.
Planning board, yep.
Subdivision doesn't actually,
Yep,
Nah,
so
that's
within
right,
our,
it is-
our
it is all
regs,
part of
they have
the-
to meet the stormwater standards, so that's a more
True.
holistic approach to look at it.
This up to.
Before the planning board several times.
Yeah.
one, what,
There was nothing that within
right.
the whole, all the issues that have come up in Brice Lemon have gone before the land use regs, but it was nothing was within their jurisdiction.
Right, because they don't, the only land topology they look at is the roadways. They don't look at lots. And although there is a stormwater plan that's part of it,
They look at lots for overall stormwater standard compliance. So all the drainage areas have to meet, the constructed area have to meet the stormwater standards. So it still has to meet, there's still a grading plan on a subdivision approval that has to be met.
but it's not a grading plan that, the planning board does not evaluate the individual lots. I'll say that point blank.
I get that.
So, yes, the stormwater appurtenances, they do, only because that's the stormwater standards they need to meet. But in terms of individual lots,
Well, unless the grading is different than the approved plan. Cause
they
that,
don't even look at it.
well, they have to, cause otherwise it wouldn't meet the stormwater standards.
maybe that's
Just
why
put it
there's
out
a
there.
problem, if somebody looked at the grading. Yep.
Well, I know somebody did look at it. There was an approved stormwater plan for this project.
And it was reviewed by Quinn?
It was, did we have Quinn do it? Is that who it was? I don't remember, Joe.
Yeah.
I think it was.
It was Quinn.
Okay, so Quinn did it for us, and I don't know who did it for DEP, or if they just took our report.
If I could, so the stormwater system in the whole subdivision was approved by Quinn, by the planning board and by the conservation commission. And we built it according to that plan. The planning board is charged with the safety of the ways. They have nothing to do with lots at all. If it's a lot on a way, they can approve an approval not required lot, but if it's within the subdivision, they are just in charge of the safety of the ways. I don't have to, according to the planning board regulations, I don't have to even submit a grading plan. We do, but stormwater on the lots themselves is only part of recharge, groundwater recharge. There's no other stormwater that have anything to do with the lots. What's happening right now out there is we're building Lemon Circle behind these. Once that road gets paved, we're graveling it now. Once the road gets paved and the lots are shaped, which is happening at this time, we're gonna put loam and seed on there. We're gonna stabilize that. And this whole mess is gonna be over. Yeah. I mean, what these people, I don't even know you. I'm
No,
sorry.
I know, we haven't met.
Yeah, so, the point is that so these things are old. I mean, this road's already accepted by the town. I mean, what if these people bought the house from another client, another customer of mine? It doesn't, I know you didn't, but I mean, the point is that it's not really any issue or a conservation issue or any of that stuff. It's just, it's been raining so hard that you just, there's no way to control something like this. I mean, it just, you can't do it. Once you start getting that kind of rain and you have any slope at all, there's gonna be erosion that's gonna be caused by it. I mean, look at what happens in the streets. I mean, I drive down the road and there's mud running down the road. I mean, when it rains that hard, you can't help it. I mean, all of these houses were built well, and I mean, anytime there's an issue, even, these people have lived there for years, we go back and we look at them and we wanna fix them. I mean, that's all there is to it. I mean, you may think you have a problem, but you might not. That's your opinion. I'm a builder. I know what I'm looking at.
I understand that, sir.
So, I don't mean to argue with you, and I'm sorry to interrupt the meeting, but point is, planning board doesn't have anything to do with the lots. That's all I'm trying to.
Right, planning board themselves doesn't evaluate the lots. They are evaluated solely as part of the stormwater plan by the engineer who looks at that. The planning board themselves, they don't know. No, I'll do this first. Yes, ma'am.
So the reason we're here is because we tried to address it with you and it didn't get addressed, so this was the next step. And I feel like that's probably true for several people. However, you're going to do an evaluation on Friday. What are the next steps from there?
It depends on what we find.
Depends on what the evaluation results back.
So how do we learn about what you find?
Our next meeting. The next meeting.
Yeah, the next meeting.
So we can only discuss in an open session. So at the site visit, we won't be able to discuss because it won't be an actual posted meeting. So in 2 weeks, we'll meet here again.
Perfect, thank you.
How far in advance do we have
And
to
you can always
post?
reach out to.
48 hours.
It's gonna be post for Friday.
Yeah, I have asked to make it a
Yeah.
post for Friday.
So we could.
But the people who are there tomorrow
Understood, but the site visit Friday can
will
be
be
posted.
posted, so we can talk about it amongst ourselves.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to sit out in the rain with us, good luck with them.
I'm gonna cut you back.
You already did that before
But
first site visit ever.
I was just asking for the rest of the retaining wall, because there's some big old rocks at the very top of that hill. Oh, sorry.
This is between them.
Yes, you should have worn.
Right, but if it's stormwater, then it is jurisdictional content.
Let's have a conversation on Friday. Is somebody gonna take minutes or are you gonna wait for those findings till the August 1st meeting?
We're going to have an actual discussion at the August 1st meeting. We may have, I just don't want to prevent us from saying anything to each other on Friday.
Okay, I just wanna make sure you don't miss anything important that we want. Right, okay.
And I know you said you.
Yeah, I think the next step.
We will make sure that we don't have anything that needs to be committed to writing that won't happen on the following meeting.
I think our next step is do the evaluation.
Yeah.
If we see something egregious, do the EOs.
If we need to do an order, an immediate order, we will do that based on what we see.
Summarize all of our findings and our actions and immediately forward that to DEP,
Gary, when we're going out.
because they're gonna need to be aware of it, regardless of what happens.
Okay, I see another hand online. Nugent?
Hi, Nick Nugent, 9 Sedona Circle. Just had a question in regards to, when you guys go out there Friday and do your walk around, if you find and feel that this runoff and stormwater issue, apologies for the noise in the background, I'm at work. If you find that the stormwater issue and runoff was due to poor planning or negligence, who will be ultimately held responsible for cleaning up damage to people's properties, including the roadway and the storm drains, and who would enforce that?
The fast answer is, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know the answer to your question. I would not begin to guess how any court would assign liability and what the effects of that would be.
Is that something we would bring to the select board?
I don't know that it would help to bring it to them, because they would more than likely be involved only if an action against the town were brought.
Unfortunately, a lot of these issues end up being civil. That's kind of the unfortunate aspect in this for homeowners. So our enforcement action and our liability only comes in terms of when there's a wetlands impact. So if the developer has caused a wetland impact, then we hold the developer cause for that particular impact to the resource area, but not necessarily for individual homeowners, if that makes sense, to like yards and things like that.
Okay, that does. Thank you.
This again is a question out of ignorance. Because I never looked, does average flood insurance cover stuff in there?
Or that's not a business.
Well, I couldn't begin to tell you, I don't know enough about flood insurance, because I don't
Is
have
only
any.
required if you're in a floodplain.
I can tell you no, sir. I know a lot about flood insurance.
Yeah, so only if you're in a floodplain, a designated floodplain, are you required to get flood insurance? So
No,
most
that wasn't
homeowners
the
don't have.
question. The question was, would a policy cover it? Not.
No,
No.
it covers the structure, not the.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but that wasn't the question.
They wouldn't have it.
Did you get yours?
Covers the structure on the.
The flood
content.
insurance?
That's what.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there other questions or comments?
Okay, just wanted, I'm
Yes.
coming tomorrow at 3:30, but Friday I can't make it.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Tommy can come, but I can't make it on Friday.
It'll be a fun, wet day.
You know which day to take off.
My grandkids are up from North Carolina, that's where I'm gonna be.
Yep, all right, fair enough. All right. You two are responsible for getting the
Wetland report.
wetlands report. We are going to visit, a couple people are gonna visit tomorrow. More people, or maybe the same, maybe different, are gonna visit Friday during the rain. And we're gonna evaluate, and we'll have a big discussion at the next meeting about everything that we see,
All right, we'll be here.
okay?
What time did we say Friday?
1 to 4.
1 to 4. We've gotta wait until we know when it's gonna rain.
That's fine. Do we want to set a starting point on Friday?
Yeah, I'm gonna start on Oakley.
Okay.
Okay.
Meteorologists have lately had
Dunkin' Donuts.
real accurate timing.
When it looks dark and you hear thunder
It'll
go.
probably be sunny and beautiful on Friday.
Yeah, that's what'll happen.
Make
It'll be
sure,
a desert day.
Yeah.
make sure you bring Melissa a nice umbrella for me.
I might
All
have
right.
a new dog with me.
Well, the homeowners all have hoses. We could probably just turn them on and see where.
Not with these water rates. Just saying.
Town water, oh yeah.
For real.
All right, thank you, everyone. We appreciate everyone's input. If you have more pictures or videos to send us, please send them to conservation@townofrutland.org, or links to them if you got them on a OneDrive, SharePoint,
Whatever.
whatever you've got it. If you want to send them to us for our records, we will keep hold of them, okay? Thank you very much. We're gonna move on. I'll give people a couple minutes to walk out before we continue our merry meeting.
I'm gonna,
Okay.
I gotta take care of some like past business and knock a couple doors.
Please do.
I had a related question. A lot of the issues that have been popping up.
You're gonna.
You might want to stick around for
This
this.
past weekend,
Crawford Road?
or was some of it
I don't
from-
care, but I think he should sit for this, because we're gonna talk about.
Some of it was
Hey,
from before, and we're,
You should probably sit and listen to this.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we were done.
No, you should probably listen, because I wanna see
well.
what they're gonna do about the road.
One second.
so we'll continue after.
I'm looking at the
Joe comes
rainfall
back, but-
totals from Worcester over the last couple
Oh, yeah.
of weeks. On the 10th, we got almost 3 inches that day. This past Sunday, we got 1.5 inches.
Right, so, but this is why I try to relate it to the
No.
maximum storm,
so that-
based on what the actual, what the real sheet flows were, because the
This is
ground is
just
so
like
saturated, and how much more did today's
DCR.
impacted, and will Fridays, and all. I just don't know how to relate them to
I don't see
understand
watershed protection
if
anywhere.
what has happened has has
So that's a gate.
overwhelmed
That's where a gate is.
design elements
Managed
of
land.
stormwater
Yep,
systems.
so
That's really
that's
my
land that
question
DCR owns.
at the
That's not
base of
watershed
it.
protection
And
land.
when I think about that, I'm putting on my stormwater engineer hat. I don't always think about it as
Because
total
that's
precipitation.
DCR.
A lot of times I think about it as
Watershed
intensity.
protection.
What was
That's
the
not
highest
the watershed
intensity of
protection.
rain? And
Nope.
some of the rain we've got
So
this
it might be
weekend
within that
so far,
area, but that's not designating the
that
area.
15 to 30 minutes of
Hold on.
rain
I
might have been
think I'll
equivalent to a
clarify
100-year storm, or more, it's possible.
Yeah, as a proportional, yes, exactly.
And yes, it might only be 15 to 30 minutes, but it drops so much water in that time.
So if
For
you
that
put
15
in
to 30
watershed
minutes and
protection
probably
act
beyond that,
viewer.
Right.
everything's
So
overwhelmed.
this is what,
And that's why it causes all these problems.
so it's this
But if
interactive
this was just like normal
map.
weather, we
Right.
weren't having all these
Yeah.
rainstorms, would these people still have flooding in their yards? And like erosion on the
There's
slopes?
been some issues in the past.
So you see
There have
how,
been
like,
plenty of
there are
issues in
different
the past, so
colors?
I need to
So,
reset
What is it,
Yeah.
311?
There's
knowledge here.
There have been past issues. Not as
dirt.
So it's not
then it also
highlighted by
not as
any.
bad as
Right.
So it's not within that watershed
There have been
protection.
issues in the
Right.
past, yes.
And I,
So,
It's too bad, cause you go through all that to design it so those things
so
won't
up
happen.
here is,
And
but not where the property is.
one of the
So
many
you see
things
how
where
it
my
has-
have to know these
so
people
this
is.
red is the 200 and the
primary and
400.
We
Yep.
understand, there's a
So
lot
this
of
is what
water,
it would
and
look
that's
like
what
if-
happens with a lot
instead
of
of
water. It
that
might
is
be,
strictly-
we have, that something needs
So
to
I
be
think
done.
that's just
It
showing
might, there are all
DCR
kinds of
properties
answers,
and how
I
to
don't
get
know which
into
way
that
it's
and
gonna
what
go.
they utilize
What's so different than the amount of water we had, all these words washed out? I mean, it's just unnatural.
Yeah,
Bryce
but
Lemon treats a lot of earthwork
DCR, right, so
done
DCR
to build
has
these
to
houses.
specify
Right.
which ones,
And you
and this
can
is the
comment
ones that
whether
they
the
specify, so
grading
not
design and
every
all that
single
was
one
good or
within
not
what
good, whatever, I won't go
watershed
into
is.
that. But I'll
I
tell you this,
know.
my backyard is relatively flat, it's got some pitch to it, I couldn't mow
So, and
part of
it's,
it.
and not every watershed has this wonderful map.
My
There's
front
you know,
yard is
parts of the
great.
state they
My
don't,
front yard
but
is
for
higher
ours,
than my
this is
backyard.
where it
Yeah.
lies, so if
And
it's not within those
the front yard
highlighted
is
areas,
squishy.
then
I
it's
can't,
squishy,
I can't
yeah.
mow.
Same here, and it's wet, it's wet, yeah.
I actually got out there on Saturday, thank God, so the dog can go out and do her business, but, all right. Picking back up with our agenda. I do want to talk about the we've already done the reorganization, so I do want to talk about the conservation agent position.
Can we talk about the road first?
No,
No.
because the road is not on our agenda and we'll deal with that. So, this won't take terribly long. There were 11 applicants.
Wow.
2 actually had qualifications. And over the next week, Melissa and Austin and I will be doing a first interview of both candidates.
Perfect.
It's
On the other side.
it's a little complicated, unfortunately, and someday I may tell a story about that, but we have one who is nearing or at retirement age, and one who, the one who is.
No, it doesn't matter what, you can't.
No, it's not the age.
No, but you can't say it, doesn't matter.
But we have,
One with
with a
multiple
plethora of experience.
Yes.
And one with
Fresh.
not a whole lot.
Okay.
Who had a heart attack, just saying.
Yep.
You just called them.
These old folks.
Anyone over 40 is considered old under discrimination law. Learn that in DEI training.
40's the cutoff.
Okay. So anyway, we will have more information and we'll let you know in advance if there will be, if we need to when we need to set up a meeting for interviews. We talked about it before, we're gonna have a special meeting, and if both candidates come through, great. And then we'll schedule a meeting for 2. If we have, if we have another Brice Lemon meeting, then we'll still want a special meeting for it to do
I
the.
don't know, have them sit there. Good experience.
Well, it is, but it's just gonna make a 2-hour meeting a 4-hour meeting, well, 3-hour meeting,
Or
so.
have them first and see if they stay.
These people? Oh,
No, the applicant, the agent applicants. See how dedicated they are.
Tipping your hand.
You're so mean.
See how to deal with Julian, what?
We'll have a discussion.
Stay, you're the interviewer.
Yeah, if they stay, they care.
Vice Captain.
Special-
have a crack at it.
Special's the right way to do it.
All right, so now I would like a motion, please, to add Palmagussit Road water concerns to our agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Black eye.
Langer and I.
Gentilucci, aye.
Wait a second.
Dan's eye.
Don't lie.
Crane, aye. All right, so now let's talk about Palmagussit Road. I've heard we might have something to say about that.
Did you guys get the most recent email I sent this afternoon from Roger Wykes? He met with Alan Mantle this afternoon.
Maybe,
They have a
You took those pictures too early.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cause when I went by later on,
Oh, it's even worse.
way worse.
Oh, he's
Because
right
I
after the
reached
storm.
out to
That's when it hits.
Alan this morning after
Hour
Scott
later.
requested
I was
it,
driving down the
he
road
got
at
right
that
up there with
time.
Roger.
I wasn't going back out. There was no road left at that time.
This is the one from Roger. All right, let me make it so it's readable.
Yeah, that's easier for you probably.
Cause she's over 40.
I said nothing about her age. I was saying because I'm right here.
That was with District Environmental and Section Alan Rantala from DCR on the project to discuss erosion concerns. After all, crap is flowing into the frickin' pond. It was determined the sediment discharge at Moulton Pond was a result of water running down the driveway at 60 Palmagussit Road.
Landowner's front.
That's well beyond the outlined erosion control limits. That is a fascinating conclusion. So it may be time to also take some pictures on Friday.
There's plenty of pictures.
Oh, that's true, we do have some.
I took plenty of pictures. It's,
You didn't go down the driveway, did you?
no, it's private property.
Yeah, but you can zoom.
That's a Zoom trespass.
That's creepy, Joe.
That's right. I don't even know. Well, I sent pictures. What happened to pictures I sent? Where are we?
Yeah, you would have been crucified.
Oh, they'd throw me in jail.
$1 trillion fine.
Yeah. 1.3 billion the last time I did Bear Hill is what they said the potential fines were.
You wanna try and beat that, Clea? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, Ray's gonna beat that.
Okay, where do we want to start?
Did you send these to us?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I sent them to everybody.
Which day?
Sad day.
Saturday, hold on, let me pull them up and I'll just pull up the pictures.
Those words are smaller.
It's Brice Lemon,
They're
Brice
different
Lemon. There we go.
I had to go up that
Someone
road
copied and
after
pasted
him
something.
when I was on my way to you.
Wait, where the hell are the pictures?
Oh, Jesus.
4-wheel drive.
That's not the one he
It
sent.
was that deep. You had
It
to
was
call
like
out
two
the
before
dogs.
that.
Yeah, I sent a couple.
Yeah, that was his response to his
Cars
initial
going-
Because I can't
response.
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I broke I think into 3 because I couldn't send them all at once.
Yeah, you sent a lot of emojis.
Why, we're a little mad.
Well, I knew you were gonna be, and I was trying to send the email to make you feel better, but then you just were still
So
mad.
why doesn't DCR, like, why don't they get a fine?
The contractor will get the fine. And that project should be shut off right now until it's, yeah. But they won't because it's a state job. Okay.
Hi,
So-
excuse me?
Yes.
Hi, this is Tracy Capillotti. I'm the District 3 Environmental Engineer with Mass DOT.
Hi, good to meet you.
Good to meet you. Sounds like it could have been under better circumstances, unfortunately.
Yes.
This isn't rain ones.
What's that?
Those aren't the rain ones.
No, I know, I just found the
okay.
first one that I found. While you're talking, I'm just gonna try and keep. Oh, that ought to be a good one. That what you're talking about, Scott?
It is, then there should be like 3 of those because I can only put like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, later on in the afternoon, that was
3.
probably 4 or 5 times wider and deeper than it shows there.
So it's going to the ball field, which we know there's wetlands over there.
Right.
On the bottom side, and it just goes over the hill.
Just
Hold on.
Just so you know, you're not sharing your screen at the moment. I don't know if
Oh.
you mean to, but
Oh,
I'm not getting
Thank
it.
you, you forgot, I did forgot that I did that, so let
Thank
me
you.
find this, I apologize. Share that.
You had to get your wiper in one? That's not even the one I'm
Yes.
talking about.
You try driving down that road.
Try to and take a picture and you're driving, nice.
So this is right
The marketplace-
next to the
marketplace.
restaurant,
Yeah, the
right?
marketplace is right there.
Marketplace and the, yeah,
Right,
okay.
the ball field's over here.
Yep, got it.
That was not right.
So did you get any going in the pond?
Oh, it moves down the hill.
Yeah.
I bet, I'm gonna take a guess that he follows the road, right?
Yes.
Did he put that in?
Yes. But that's all the stuff rolling off that side into that wetland where they were gonna put that driveway originally.
Driveway's into that one.
Oh, that's that side.
That's that
Okay.
side, so that's the
That's on
left-hand
the-
side.
that's the west side,
That's the
okay.
west side of that street.
20 years ago?
No,
Oh, yeah.
If I could just ask,
Okay, guys,
I haven't been out to this site. I'm fairly new to the position and I just got some staff on board. So by chance, one of my assistants, Adele, went out there today because she was going through some other sites. And she stopped by and I guess we walked into a hornet's nest because, yeah, wonderful. But Adele's on here also. She did take a few pictures, but just so I can orient myself. So you're saying there's a wetland on the green side of that?
yes, back behind it, this is the west side of Palmagussit Road. It's, I don't know if you have a map, it's a little north of the ball field. And in fact, here, let me,
I don't, yeah, my Google Earth is not working well. I don't know.
let me pull some things up here.
Thank you.
Hornet's nest, I was at work.
And let me just throw in the wetlands while we're at it. And then I'll go, right about here to start with. Miles Road. So this is before Miles.
Yes.
Yeah, gotta go the other way.
Awkward.
Screen silence.
So what I'm,
There we are. So we are, that picture that I just had in the background is in this area. I don't know exactly where, but
okay, what kind, let's see, are we looking at like a, let's see, a 1 inch equals 100? No, maybe more.
honestly, my eyes are so bad, I can't read the scale down here.
Okay.
But here, let me actually put that map up so you can see.
Oh, thank you.
So there's the ball field, there's our DPW building,
Okay.
and it's harder to see the wetland that's here that is probably, by the way, differently sized now.
Yeah, it's,
But
right. Because when they were doing that second driveway, they had them much closer up than that.
yes, right.
That wetland's actually bigger than that map.
Yeah. Right.
And where is the dam in relation to?
Dam is further down, is further north, is right here.
No.
Okay.
No?
No, keep going.
Keep going.
Oh, you're right, it's all the way up here. My
Yes.
I damn
Quit laughing at me!
Yeah,
Look for the water.
I was gonna say, that's the tree stand?
Yeah, Mill Pond,
That poor
the
pond.
mill.
Well, that pond's full, the mill pond in front is full, the river down the bottom's full that flows
That's right.
out.
So, well, we'll go over
Right.
each of those
Right.
with this
Right.
poor unfortunate soul.
Welcome to Rutland.
Yeah. So the first picture, by the way, was right here, because that's where the,
Yep.
that's where the rest, that's where those buildings are in that wall. You could see the retaining wall on the right-hand side. So that's right here.
Yep.
Second picture's up around here.
Yep.
And again, yeah, I would call that turbidity and scarring and everything else.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I am certainly not going to give an excuse for this because there is no, you know.
Oh, it gets worse.
Yeah, I'm sure it gets worse. I mean, we definitely were under a situation where we had the road in the most vulnerable state of being completely dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So
During historic rains. Perfect.
yes,
My
historic
road
rains
looked like a
and
highway.
structures that are buried because they haven't been raised yet because their road is under construction. So we have like just everything we need thrown at us on this one. So,
Well,
okay,
welcome
keep
to
going.
Rutland, and it's a hell of a training exercise.
I mean, but what can you do? I mean.
Yeah, so
But there was nothing, I mean,
It's like-
for the little bit of stuff that they did originally, and we had told them, and they said they were gonna look at it again, they weren't good for a 2-inch rainstorm. Forget if the ground was,
Yeah.
this was ground up. Again, some of it would happen anyways, but the amount of dirt they just put into that pond that they sued Cleve for $1 billion for is insane. And what we just telling him on the other side.
Fine.
Right, and that was the fine. If you're gonna, and plus what we just did, I mean, again, apples to apples, if we're gonna try to get him on turbidity of what he just probably put over there, what do you wanna do on this? And you just filled 3 ponds. Who's gonna take it out of the ponds?
Do you have any photos of anything in the pond?
Keep going.
Yep, coming up.
Of course, because I live next to it, unfortunately.
Look, oh, that's going, gee, what's that going into? Downhill. That's gotta be towards the left side,
I
right?
mean, there should have been something like,
But there was
didn't they
nothing.
put straw bales or something?
They put some mulch bales down, like 1 row.
They should have been
Non-staked,
ready.
non-staked.
But they should have been ready.
Oh, they washed it runoff, and then the town paid to fix it. The town sent their own crews out to fix it, not the construction company.
Is this the same day?
Oh, it's all the same day.
Okay.
So that's coming up in front of my house. So that's, go down to the
back.
other one. So that's coming up, so the pond's behind you now, and that's all the stuff coming down. Remember, he said it came from one way? Well, it's coming from both, well,
both
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pond is the low spot.
Right, where,
I mean, clearly that's,
Guess I'm not
something's breaking up the land there. That's
Right.
not good.
right,
Oh, there was asphalt getting carried away and
right.
Can you tell me, was this on Sunday?
This
or
was
what day
Saturday.
this?
This is Saturday before
This
Sunday.
is Saturday before Sunday's rain. So Sunday didn't make it any better. So there you go, that's coming back down the hill, so that
That's the
retention,
other-
so your
yeah.
retention wall's still back on your right.
Yes.
So you're still coming
So-
down, the hill. You're going towards the pond right now still, coming down the hill.
You've gone up the hill, yeah.
As far as you know, you did not see the contractor on site at all over the weekend?
No. They actually, one of the driveways that got flooded on Sunday, they called non-emergency. Non-emergency had the highway come out, then the state inspector came out, and then the town cleaned it up.
Do you know the
So you
name
can,
of
so you can
the?
actually drive up the road.
yeah, they didn't.
Not that the
clean it up.
contractor didn't show up until Monday morning.
Everything else I have is labeled Brice Lemon Estates.
Oh, okay. I didn't send the pond pictures?
I did, I just don't know under which thread.
I
Well,
think there's one under Brice Lemon, that might be why.
Yeah, I saw that.
all right, let me,
Just to clarify, the emails you sent out
Right,
was on Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday.
Saturday
Well,
was.
Sunday got worse too. So Sunday I sent the turbidity in the ponds.
But a lot of these pictures were from Saturday?
Saturday was the road, Sunday was I think Sunday was the pond.
Okay. I'm just noticing that the precipitation.
This is the right, okay, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's the mill pond, but it's brown.
Right, so the mill pond is on the west side
Yes.
of the
The
road,
dam.
not the east side.
Right, so
yes.
that's on the downward side of the dam.
That's abutting my property.
I just wanted to bring it up here. So, this picture is over here. Yes?
Yes, of all the stuff that already hit the pond and came through.
Right, so that actually came down the pond, well, it could have been
It could have been both.
from this side of the road too.
A lot of it went across. A lot of it did go to man's driveway and come across.
Did anyone get the name of the person that came out from DOT? You said DOT?
State inspector, the same guy that's watching, he lives in town.
Roger White.
Roger Wykes.
Okay, so
White's
he's the resident in,
Right, he's a resident of Rutland.
no, he's I'm sorry, he's the project resident engineer?
Right. Right, and he also lives in town.
So, yeah, I mean, you can see.
I mean, that's about as brown as you get. And just think that's carried all the way down that stream.
Oh, I mean, here, look. You can, where the hell my cursor go this time? I mean, just, Yeah, it stopped it from flowing across, but there's nothing that stops it from flowing down.
But remember, they didn't stake any of these either. There's no staked anything.
So it's just wattles.
It's wattles, just wattles and most wattles, but there's.
In a few spots, they added, that was, by the way, the approved plan.
Right.
The approved plan did not have any silt. They put in some silt afterwards.
Right, and they added some wood chips afterwards.
And wood chips.
So that's actually the pond. So where the brownness on the far side is, that's where they're saying it came across the driveway.
That is a fascinating conclusion that they reached.
Yeah, imagine that. It came across the driveway and hit the pond. Oh, yep, it did.
So did all the sediment that was in the water that entered the driveway stay on the driveway?
Oh, no, it's in the pond.
No, not according to.
Yeah, that's what kind of blows me by what they reported. That's kind of discouraging.
Are you, would you be able to share any of these photos with me, email them?
Absolutely. In fact, I'll try it right now.
And again, it's the worst situation in the world, and we all understand that, but it's like, okay.
So, yeah, a lot of it could have been prevented.
Well, put it this way, if you would have had multiple layers or something, if
What's
it
your
still
email
blows through,
address?
it might happen.
Yeah.
But, and then,
What's your email?
It's Tracy, Tracey .Coppelotti, COPPELLOTTI.
Yeah.
Sorry, at dot.state.ma.us.
I want to retire.
All right, this one that you just saw is coming right now. Now that I have your email, I'll send more. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned that one's labeled Brice Lemon Estates, but it's not. It's still Palm
Because I
Augusta Road.
responded to that.
Yeah, that's why.
To get everybody's,
Oh, yeah, to get us rallied.
everybody's email.
Nice job, Scott.
Rally the troops.
That's why you're not chair, Scott.
Imagine if I was chair.
No.
They put a lot of
we already-
emojis means.
We'd be here forever.
We'll be meeting across the street.
And if you don't receive them soon, Tracy, let me know and I'll break them down, or I'll find a way to get you a pointer to them.
Okay, thank you.
And again, we understand it's the worst situation you could possibly have, but
It
the
is.
answer we got today from them is very discouraging. It's
And
like,
Yeah,
so-
that's the biggest problem I have. I mean, I don't mean to say, diminish this at all, but the response sounds like it was not nearly appropriate.
you know, it's gonna be paid by the 30th. Well, I hope it doesn't rain between now and then.
Hey, it's 2 weeks.
I mean, most of the time by now, you'd have more stuff sitting out there in case, and you would have reinforced. They didn't even pick up the stuff that's already failed. They just continue to work. I mean, by right, as far as I'm concerned, it should have a cease and desist. I don't care whose project it is. Until the stuff is redone, I don't care what happens to the road. I don't care about your timeline. If anybody else did this besides the state, the project should be stopped until it was done. And I'm not normally a hard person, but this is a little ridiculous.
So Tracy, from your point of view, what would realistically be steps from Mass DOT in terms of this type of response? Because I think the commission is feeling pretty strongly one way, that there are some things that need to be immediately rectified and some long-term planning actions for the impacts to the pond. So do you have kind of a preliminary assessment of what you think would happen?
Other than that, I agree with what you just said. They need to get out there and put proper erosion control measures before anything, because right now you still have a seriously vulnerable site that's only going to create more issues unless they do something immediately.
This is Tuesday, right?
Yep.
Yes.
48 hours.
If you would allow me to have some communication with them, because I have not spoken to Roger, I have not spoken to, well, Roger, he copied me on the email. That didn't really tell me much.
That's okay. Because again, this is us. Can I just openly just say something?
feel free.
My theory on this is, they have till Thursday to fix this, or they get a cease and desist by Friday.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's pretty hard, we normally don't do that. We know rain's coming Friday. So, I mean, again, I'm not normally hard on this, but the amount of stuff that hit there, you know what, you gotta have extras. I mean, we've required on regular construction projects, you need to have extras, and all the stuff that's here has to be done first. That's more important than playing with your road right now.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
So that's, I mean, again, we can vote on it after the fact, or however you wanna do it, but that's my feeling, cause there's a lot of vulnerable areas here. And even that, don't forget, they also ground miles. They ground the beginning of miles, so I didn't even go down in there to see what that looks like.
You gotta,
I bet it ain't pretty.
Where is this?
Miles Road,
which is.
that comes off it.
Yeah, I mean.
They ground, because they have to change that's, I think, a 90-degree entrance, so they ground the first 300 feet of that road too.
So this is Palmagussit, or Route 56, that's Miles Road, and this is a hill.
And they ground all that, and there's wetlands down that way too. They're all in that area, and there's a bunch of streams down there, so I'm guarantee it went right down the road and went back into those streams.
So how far is Miles Road milled, or?
Probably 300 feet.
That sounds right.
what, the length of it? or-
No,
How long they milled?
Oh,
300
mill
feet.
part, yeah. It's
300
down-
feet.
It's down just past,
300 feet.
Okay, but that still hopefully has some asphalt on it?
No, they milled the first 300 feet, which is on the hill. The whole hill is
All the way
milled.
to dirt, right?
All the way to dirt.
yeah, and it all ran off on the left side.
Okay, so they didn't just mill down to like a base?
Nope, they milled it all the way to nothing. They pulverized the whole thing.
Okay.
Saw you yawn.
At least it's not Friday, you guys. Geez, this would be a really depressing way to start the weekend.
No, we'll destroy
Be a very
somebody
busy
else's weekend.
weekend.
Wait till Friday morning.
Yeah, we have enough joy coming on Friday at Brice Lemon anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with Scott. I think 48 hours, those road controls
I think that's fair.
better be in much better condition with a, maybe not a formal report, but some sort of report to us that, this is kind of what we outlet, this is what we did, pictures, areas, schematics.
Right.
Tanika, could you please get in contact with the owner of whoever has that driveway? So that we can get access to that property. I wanna walk.
Man's property?
Yeah.
Does man still own that?
She does, Nancy does.
Oh, yeah.
You talking about 60?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah. And the other side you can, because Clay owns that piece where the boat ramp is, so he doesn't care, because it's all ran over that way too.
Well, who did all the filling on the boat ramp?
Because I might only have like a mailing address, I won't have access to a
Right to the
phone
water.
number.
Well, we won't go on until we have permission, so as soon as we can get it, great, but if.
Anita will have it.
I also.
I can probably get it from Glenn too.
I also think it makes sense for it to be kind of open-ended for the duration of the project. Even, just.
Oh, yeah.
So this is not just for a Friday meeting, this is we would like access to the property
The
for
first
the
couple hundred
duration.
feet of your driveway so we can wash this.
Exactly.
For us to monitor, not for any work, yeah.
I'm sure that they would cooperate with
I expect that they would, but I don't wanna take it for granted.
Right.
Have you had an issue accessing anything near where the contractor's been working? Like, have they, has there been a?
It's town property. They can't stop us from walking on it.
Stopping?
Yeah, we haven't had a problem yet, but there'd be no reason for there to be a problem so far.
Right.
So who reaches out, I assume, to Roger?
I will speak to him.
I'll speak to him, okay.
I'll reach out right after the meeting. If I don't get him tonight, first thing in the morning. Oh, actually, you know what? Actually, I'm sorry. He's working tonight. He's actually paving on another job.
Perfect. Ruin his night. I mean, say hello.
Yes, let's try to call him.
And again, we're not even talking about trying to clean anything, we're just
Correct,
wanting,
yeah.
so this.
We need to stop it for
I
now.
want, I want, that's right, I wanna
The
make sure that
cleaning
he
comes
understands
next.
what we
I mean,
expect.
if bad things happen because of this stuff, you understand, but such little effort was taken.
This wouldn't happen if I was chair, we'd be gone.
Keep that in mind next year, kiddo.
No, I was saying, this meeting would be done.
Good. All right, so I'm on the Conservation Commission meeting and we're discussing the project. What is Marias's plan for getting out there?
Picking up another pallet, I think it's 120 feet of erosion control.
What kind of erosion control?
What's the wattles?
All right, straw wattles aren't gonna do it.
You tell me, Tracy, what
Yeah,
needs to be
those
done.
were.
I mean, the amount of water that comes off of the town
No.
property in Washington, so whatever you
Listen,
tell me
we know
done
it's.
is what they'll do. I met with the DCR today and one of your assistants, and that's what we came up with. So I have no problem doing whatever you tell me.
Okay, I'm just saying, were wattles called for in the original plan?
The wattles were called for in the original plans, and I extended the wattles from the original plan. So we've actually done more than what was called for from whoever reviewed the original plans.
He's right.
What has to be done out there before this is paved? What is left to do out there before this is paved as far as regrading goes? Other than regrading?
So what is left to do out there?
Obviously, they're gonna have to regrade. I understand that before you pave.
That's 2 weeks.
Is there anything else that they need to do before they pave?
No.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, this is gonna be shut down and they're only gonna be allowed to go in there and make repairs to the erosion control.
That's completely fine. They can shut it down. It just extends it longer. So just shut it down. Let me know what you want them to do, and they'll do it. I have no problem. So you shut it down, and then it just extends the grading process.
What is it?
We're barely going to make the 31st paving date. So
Okay,
if we don't make the 31st paving date, it could push it out another 2-3 weeks from there.
I understand how getting everybody on the board, but just explain to me if they don't have anything to do except for grading until they pave, why can't they get in there and work on the erosion controls?
They will work on the erosion controls. They're actually going to bring the stuff tomorrow to work on the erosion controls that they were directed as in my email I sent earlier.
Okay, they're bringing those tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I got a quick phone call to confirm that they're picking them up in the morning, but they're supposed to bring them tomorrow, yeah.
All right, can you, let me know in the morning, first thing, when they will be on site so I can speak with them?
Yeah, they get there at 7 a.m.
Okay.
But I'm gonna call you right back to make sure they're gonna get the erosion control. Because if not, I'll just tell them.
Well, if we can,
we're shutting it down.
yeah, they need to get erosion control, but,
I mean, you're gonna tell me what you want for erosion control too. You just said the wattles aren't gonna work, so I can tell them to bring the wattles like I did, per our meeting today.
I mean, I haven't looked at the plan. Typically, we use compost filter tubes, which work a lot better than wattles. Wattles to me are more of a temporary thing, so I really don't know why those would be on the plan. I've got to look
What
at
do you
it.
mean the compost filter? They're the same thing, aren't they?
No, very different.
No.
A compost filter tube is a very dense material.
It's the mulch. It's the, like the box mulch.
Put in, what the company comes and they put it in right along as they go.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And typically, like if you're having an issue with erosion, low areas, whatever, with all the rain we've had, I've had other contractors had to like double.
Yeah, so I don't think it's not the straw. I don't think it's not the straw wattles. There is mulch in those, so they're real heavy. They move them around. They have to move them with a loader. I mean, it's not. So I think they're pre-filled.
Okay.
So they're not, it's not the, so when I say the wattles,
Yeah,
I
because
don't
straw,
I
the
don't
only,
mean the straw wattles now.
yeah, the only thing I'd like to see them, with the straw wattles is just to keep some on hand because they're easy to move around quickly.
Yeah, I don't
For an
think,
emergency.
yeah, I mean, I could have them bring some straw wattles just as a back, but that's not what they used out there, no.
Yeah,
It's not,
but
it's not the straw, it's the mulch.
Okay, it sounds like we definitely have impacts into, waterways. That we're gonna have to look at closer.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I agree, it is a mess. I mean, when you turn, if you look at the profiles of the roads and slopes, I mean, where all the water comes down from the town properties and it all rushes down the hill, I mean, other than like building a temporary detention pond, it's just gonna be a nightmare. Then what happens is you get the flooding. So now you get the flooding, so now you're getting the complaints on the flooding too because of the tubes.
Okay, if you can get in touch with them, I'd like to just meet them on site first thing. I mean, I can be there at 7.
Yeah, let me call them right now and see if their PE that does their swims.
Yep.
Well, let's have him come out.
Yes,
So
that would be the best. Yep. Okay, thank you. So yeah, sorry about this. It's
Great, Tracy, I like the way you handled it, thank you.
yeah, if there are straw wattles out there, and it looked to me like there were in one of the photos you showed.
There's some, most of them are the mulch wattles. I mean, most of them are that, and they've done some of the other stuff. The problem is it's just gone over it, and it's one layer, and
The one layer, yeah, I have to say this kind of came on the last minute at the end of the day for me. And I knew that Adele had been out there and, she did the best she could to, gather some information. But we need to definitely, get out there on site and look at this thoroughly and make a plan of where we're gonna go from there. I mean, we're gonna have them attack the, the worst areas first, obviously near the, where these ponds are.
Oh, yeah.
And there's gonna have to be, the unfortunate thing is we've got a road that's completely wide open for a mile. And, it is hard. The one thing I will say is I really hope that we don't have to put off the paving because the paving companies are so hard to get.
Yeah, PJ was out measuring today. I already know it. So.
Oh, good, yeah. But they're, to schedule, they're tough.
That's the threat they hold over your head all the time.
Right.
Well, I agree, it's in everyone's best interest.
To get it paved.
The binder goes down as soon as possible.
Right.
That stabilizes those areas, so I completely agree with that.
Right.
I know he was Roger had said earlier, I don't know. He sent me an email with this saying that they were gonna work 10-hour days. But again, they need to work 10-hour days, but right now it's to get, this stuff taken care of.
Right.
Best they can. And like you said, we've got more rain coming and that's not gonna help anything. And the ground, the ground is saturated, nothing's
right.
It's horrible. It's been really bad on all of our sites. But they definitely have not done a good job of being on top of it. They really need to.
If they would have done a better job and it still would have failed, okay, you feel a little better, but it's I know it was done by design of how it was approved, but you're going, okay, it's not the first time it rained this year.
No, but they also, we have a SWIP inspector and, well, they have one and, they should have been on top of this and could have communicated better.
SWIP reports.
Right. Okay.
But anyhow, so this is really the first. I knew it was a project that we had out there. I've been pretty inundated with we have 2 large design build projects right now, the 495-90 interchange and There's a large one in Charlton, Oxford, so I've been like, my week has been tied up in meetings on those.
Oh, I understand. Mind you, we do believe that this is the most important project you have to work with in the entire state,
A
because.
mile and a quarter of road is more important than 495. It's fine, you know, we understand this.
It's been very busy, and I was fortunate enough to get some staff just recently, and Adele was great. She came right out of WPI, and she'll be out on site probably once a week from now on, if not more.
Stop by for coffee.
That's right.
Yeah, I live right there.
We'll be here.
Thank you.
But,
All right, Tracy, I did get bounce messages because they're too big. Do you, does the state use Microsoft?
I do, yes.
Okay, great, because with the Microsoft, any of the Microsoft logins, you'll be able to get to our stuff. I'll send you pointers to those pictures.
Okay, great. Excellent. So anyhow, I'm just gonna plan on being on site tomorrow for 7 and kind of go from there. You know, I want to meet their SWIP inspector and the contractor and get things going in a positive direction, hopefully.
Thank you.
Marvelous.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
And can I give you my cell number if you want to get in touch? And then also if I could have someone's number to reach out to.
Okay, so let's start, let probably give mine just to, as the point of
Do
contact.
you mind it being public?
I'm sorry, 1 second, Roger's just calling me back here. Roger?
This
Because
meeting,
we're
we're recorded
It's gonna
forever.
get republished.
Have her email it to you.
Hello?
That's Roger. Roger called back.
I know.
Okay, good.
I feel better now.
Do you?
That's been sitting on my chest.
Okay.
That was it?
Yeah.
That was nothing. I thought it was gonna be more exciting.
She did well.
I've talked to her about
Okay.
She did much better than the report said this afternoon, basically. That report was very discouraging.
She's different division, but she's more environmental, because she just stepped
I
think she's just stepped into the 495 project too. So I had to talk to her about
Yeah, no, I understand that. Do we have confirmation that someone, I mean, I'd like to have the SWIP operator and someone from Marias, the super on site. Oh. Okay.
hungry emoji.
Okay.
They have a Greek salad with grilled chicken. They're gonna close soon, you better go.
Okay, and can he be on site?
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
9 o'clock is late, thank you.
no food.
Well, all right, well, let me get back to the commission so I can let them go, and I will meet them there tomorrow at 7. Yep. Yeah, yep. Oh, I know, and they understand that, you know, it's crazy everywhere, but and I understand there's other things, but it's difficult. We got a mile of open road, and that's one issue I have with some of our projects, because we get inundated like this, and you're to put it bluntly, you're screwed. So but I mean that, I have seen pictures though that things have not been tended to the way they should. So but all right, I'll meet them in the morning and we'll go from there. All right, thank you. Okay. So
Tracy, this is Peter, I will send you my cell phone number and by email, and you can send me yours so that we don't announce it here on public television.
Perfect, sounds good.
We're getting lots of phone calls.
Yeah.
I already get too many.
We took Joe's phone number off for a reason.
That's right.
We're not gonna put ours back on.
Just so you know, I pretty much have my phone available.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
No, that's, if it's a weekend and it's an issue, give me a call.
Okay.
Tracy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tracy. Thank you, Adele.
Alrighty, and thank you for your patience, and I'll be in touch after I meet with them tomorrow.
Marvelous.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, I think that closes the Palmagussit Road issue for today.
And today,
It's quarter till.
Motion adjourned.
Hold on.
Second.
Stanza.
Do you have anything for public comment tonight that can't wait until the next meeting?
I can make it quick.
If you can make it really quick.
I can make it real quick.
Because in 15 minutes, this meeting will be done.
Oh, yeah, should be real quick. So, I know this isn't a priority for members of the Conservation Committee, because I know what takes up your time. But it is a priority related to the Wetlands Protection Act and what your official mission is. But, where I live, I've identified 9 endangered species. And I don't mean just, oh, there he goes. I mean repeated and taken photographs of. And that's the kind of area that we're living in. And you know, when you do a site visit, you don't see that stuff. You don't see it. 9 endangered species were on the high priority in need of conservation list. That's amazing. In addition to all the other stuff that's not protected. I got a list of 30 animals. Just where I live. I'm not talking about up on the Deerfield or over on the Ware River. I'm talking like right here, my backyard. 9 endangered species in one area. That's amazing.
You have the lynx wander through your space?
They have. They have.
Oh, no, because I caught one on my wildlife cam
I'm probably the
recently.
most proud of is a northern harrier, and he comes by frequently, several of them. But anyway. And then the second thing is I apologize for this because when you were talking back and forth, is there a way you can just simply repeat exactly what the status is on what was being asked for the notice of intent related to lot 6, Glenwood Road with Elbach, Mr. Elbach?
That one is, the hearing was opened and continued. We'll be discussing it more next time. We couldn't close the hearing no matter what because there is no DEP number. So we'll have a more full, complete discussion of that at the next meeting.
Okay.
So we just continued
So
to
we
the
don't
next
know what
meeting.
the topic is? Or I don't understand what the topic is.
It's changes.
Changes.
But exactly what the changes are, that's what we'll be discussing.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
So, now for honest and for real, shall we have a motion?
Adjourned. Motion 2.
Roll call.
Donald, aye.
Dan's eye.
I'm sorry.
Chancellor Chair.
Black eye.
Langer, aye.
Gray and I were adjourned at, I don't care what time it is. Thanks, everyone.